gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hey everyone, welcome to TMTL. We're doing some live coverage here. I'm joined by Ryan and Danny. Say hi, guys.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
everybody?
what's up?
Really stoked for this. So the idea is that we're just going to do some live coverage of tonight's Terra Mystica Tuesday League game following America Division 1, which is a really sick stack table of players, which we'll introduce in a second. And yeah, we're just going to be talking through the game and giving our thoughts and stuff. If you're in chat, let us know what you think about the game and what people are up to. But I'm just going to jump right over to the game board. The game's actually just started. Bizzle is in first seat, and he's about to pick a faction. So do you guys want to go ahead and just like introduce this division and these players and what's going on here?
Yeah, I'll start off a bit. So today we have Barnawa, which was his home game. He convinced all others to put in Fire and Ice factions, so that should be interesting today. And also, the game will be played on lakes with no landscapes and no Fire and Ice scoring.
Interesting.
I don't think we've seen that. I don't think we've seen that permutation yet. Like this combination of no landscapes, no extra scoring, fire and ice and lakes. I haven't played a game
I
on
don't
that
know how
format
many
yet. So
games I've played on lakes with no landscapes, right? Like there was the arena season that was sort of, I guess, last arena season or no, 2 seasons ago, that was lakescapes. And of course, the upcoming F2O series is going to be lakescapes. There's certainly some games going on in that, but I haven't played that many lakes
yeah,
games with
but
landscapes off.
with the extra factions,
That
yeah,
too, 100%.
with the extra factions too. That's it. So I
Yeah,
think that's pretty new for everyone on the table here. I think so.
so it's just wondering, like, how well will, if someone does choose to pick an extra faction, how well will they perform? That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Whose home game is
It,
this?
Uh,
yeah, I was about to say, if not,
Barnawalls. Yeah.
we'll like
Barnawalls.
go over the players that are playing today. We have Barnawal, which is his home game, and he's actually leading in the standings, and he's in a good position to actually win the division. You have in second place right now is FireX. Um, he would actually have to need to win, and Barnwall to get, I think, 0 points if he wants to win, or maybe like 1 point. And you have Chris Bizzle, which is the Fire Tube Tournament's founder, creator, caster, player, whatever you want, does everything. And you also have Mellison, which was interesting enough because the last game that was played on Lakes, Mellison actually ended up winning. So we'll see if Mellison will be able to get the
Interesting.
W again.
With a sick engineers game. That was a pretty good game. Yeah.
But so it was Barney Boy that tossed in that asked for these Fire and Ice factions, eh? Like this is
Yeah, it
Yep.
was.
okay. So
Yeah,
who
it
here
was him.
has experience with them, right? Like some players have lots of experience with Fire and Ice factions. Other players that are very strong in other like in all maps and other setups have just like can have very limited experience. Do you know much about like Melton, FireX, and Bizzle? Like which of these guys like knows the Fire and Ice factions and who doesn't?
I think Barnwell and FireX are familiar with them.
Right.
That I think I know that for a fact. The other players I'm not sure, honestly, because I think Barnwell and FireX both play a lot in the Fjords League, and I think in the Fjords League on Snellman, expansion factions are allowed.
Right.
Correct me someone if I'm wrong, but
Oh, I see.
so I'm expecting Barnwell and FireX to be a bit more fluent in these expansion factions. Bizzle, I don't know. Maybe he did play them on Snellman. I'm not aware, and Medicine as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I find Fire and Ice factions like mix things up a lot. Like they act differently than like regular factions. As like um, they can start on any
Yeah,
terrain type, and You know, like especially I think alkalites, they just like what? Do they just burn terrains or something?
They they go down the cult tracks, three cult steps in order to transform a terrain into a volcano. Yeah.
There's some trash
And yeah,
talk going on
we
at the
have our
table here.
factions.
Uh,
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun trash talking.
but yeah, we have our factions
Yeah,
here.
we have our factions here. We have giants. Yeah, giants, yetis, acolytes, and swarmlings. So taking advantage of the possibility of expansion factions, right, with yetis and acolytes. Uh, no shifting factions though. No river walkers or shapeshifters. Uh, yeah, I think all these picks make some kind of sense. Yetis too with the stronghold. I think it's a pretty good building for Yetis to have that stronghold up early.
Now, for for our viewers and also me that don't know much about Fire and Ice factions, would you guys just give a quick rundown on like what is the ability of Yetis and Acolytes each, and like what does their stronghold do if it's like a relevant stronghold?
So I'm a
Yeah,
little
so
bit familiar with like alkalites because I played them once or
yeah,
twice, and basically I think they go down three in the cult. So let's say if they're at step number 3 in the cult, they can go down to terraform any terrain type that is not owned by an opponent. And if no, it's 2, and if 3 if it is owned by an opponent. Pardon.
Okay. Okay.
So they go down in cults in order to just like burn a
And
hex.
is that for for a spade, or is it like giants in that they can do anything? Like they can turn anything to their home terrain if it's not occupied by another faction.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
yeah. It's not really a spade. It's not counted as
Right.
like
Okay.
any the volcano factions. It's
They
not counted as a spade. So
yeah.
both Dragon Lord and Acolytes, they just sort of transform it.
I see.
Like
It's more like a
I don't know what's the
sandstorm or something.
proper word.
But can they
Something
do
like
it? They
that.
can do
Yeah.
it through shipping though, can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have range. They can
They
upgrade
have
their
range.
ships.
I see. I gotcha. What do you guys think about the bidding here? And how are these pastels going to break down?
Oof. That's a good question.
Like, are Yetis and Acolytes apt to
Uh,
open Stronghold? Like, these are things I don't know. I think Yetis generally, yes, right?
uh,
With Acolytes, can they be a Temple faction as well, or how do they open?
Acolytes, I don't think you want to open the
Okay.
stronghold. I don't think so. I think stronghold round 3 kind of can make some kind of sense for acolytes. The stronghold, I think, lets you put a priest. Like whenever you put a priest into the cults, you get one more cult point than cult step. Sorry, than the normal. So if you put a priest for in the 3 spot, you get 4 after building the stronghold. If you
Oh,
put it in the 2 spot, you get 3, and if you put it only for free, like for a 1 step, then you get 2. So that's the acolyte stronghold. Yeah,
Yeah. So also
okay.
looking
and
like
I think it gives a priest income, I think, to the acolyte stronghold, right? Or I'm not convinced.
we'll have to take a look once the game boards are on.
Yeah,
But like looking at the round scorings here, like it does look like a pretty decent track for swarmlings here. It looks pretty
Yes.
strong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good
On
track
the
for
other
them, but
hand,
the past
yeah.
tiles are kind of garbage.
exactly. But then if you look at the factions, like I know alkalites aren't that good in cults, if I'm not mistaken, because they often have to go down in cults to terraform
I see.
their terrain types. Uh, giants normally they win like maybe 1 or 2
Uh-huh.
if they're lucky, so they will be strong in the, I think, in the cults as well. As for the Yetis, I'm not sure if they're a culty faction or like a faction that plays on network.
Interesting. Um, in terms of how these past tiles break down, I mean, I assume Swarmlings just take the spade here. Um, and
Yeah, I think acolytes probably take worker power.
they take
I
worker
think
power.
maybe.
And are Yetis and Giants just taking coins? Like, Yetis are apt to open Stronghold here, so they don't have they don't have much use for temp ship as brown on this map, so it's just going to be coins and coins for Yetis and Giants.
Um, would giant
Yeah. Well,
want tempship?
Oh, well, Giants might want tempship, but then they need. Well, actually, this is a question for you guys. Like, I don't know how much workers are have to be under pressure by Yetis here. Like, if they are opening stronghold, do they also want a workers action or something? Because otherwise, Giants starting on tempship, one of the benefits for that is they can just first action workers. So they're not going to
Yeah,
get worker
it
blocked.
depends on. True, true. Um,
There aren't a lot of workers
I
in
think
this
though
game,
maybe
right? Like, and that's one interesting thing. Like, a lot of these factions want those extra 2 workers early to get their econ going, and I'm sure Giants would love to try to build a temple in round 2, but it's just going to be tricky without, like I think Giants
there's
is,
a.
yeah,
I think so. A consequence of that, I think, is that the priest to fire. I think a lot of factions can use it, like giants and acolytes and swarmlings might want that priest to fire early on, in
totally,
order to get these workers going. Yeah.
yep,
But there's no priest bonus style as well, so maybe there's going to be a lot of pressure on both the workers action and or the priest power
yeah, I
action
think so,
maybe in the
absolutely.
first
And
round.
is like double digs. Like, does anyone want double
I,
digs, or does
do acolytes just take double dig here as brown, or sorry,
the
acolytes are gray here. Sorry.
I don't think acolytes can use dig, or
Oh,
how
they
do they use the digs?
they can't double dig. Okay.
I I'm not sure about that.
Acolytes double digging?
Do
Yeah,
acolyte?
well,
Is that
can
what you're?
Yeah, can
yeah,
acolytes dig? Sorry that I have to ask this on the stream that
Well, I
I'm
don't think
casting to other people.
they don't really want double dig, no, since they dig with the cold steps.
Fatty's
So
saying that dig actions are terrible for acolytes. Okay, so maybe it's like a Darklings thing. They
yeah,
can, but no.
it's 2 cold steps.
yeah. Essentially, it's 6 power for two cold steps.
Hey, it could be like in round 6. Like, if they can like jump up and win a cult if they use a double dig action, that'd be pretty cool. But anyways,
True,
that's
true. But yeah, it's not the most efficient thing. And as the finesse was saying also, Yetis don't have to fear of being power action blocked to open stronghold because their stronghold allows them to still take power actions even though they've been taken
Oh, with
by other
Yetis.
players.
Oh, okay. So that actually relieves.
Yeah,
But Yetis can take the power action first and it blocks it from other people. But if other people have taken it, they still can. Is that how it works?
true.
but
Okay.
Yeah,
isn't it
yeah, exactly.
doesn't it cost them less power?
That's their base ability. So all that's their base ability. Every power action costs 1 less power, and then when they build a stronghold, they can take any amount of power actions that they want, even the ones that have already been taken
That's
once by them
absurd.
as well. Uh, it is, and it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It might be one of
They
those
seem
things that
balanced.
sounds more
And-
broken than it
Yeah,
actually is. Um, but
But I think they
probably.
have problems with their terrains where they start on 2 brown terrains that are transformed to ice, and then they have to like have an extra dig, no, or something. Danny,
Yeah, I think if they want to dig a home terrain that is already like a terrain that is already home to a faction. Uh, I don't think
like
Yetis.
other
No, I
brown
don't think
like
that works
terrains,
with
they have to
ice.
terraform them, no? Like, if it's another
Oh,
brown terrain, they
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
of course.
terraform it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, exactly.
does, let's say if they're brown, does like black cost 2, or does it still just cost 1? And
Black costs 1. So
okay,
everything costs 1 as the same. It's the same as brown, except that brown costs 1 dig as well.
uh,
Yeah.
so there's no like free terrain expansions. So that's the downside of, let's say, the Yetis.
Yeah.
gotcha. So how much longer does this auctions have to go? Do you think?
I think for quite a bit longer. I think because as I've said, I don't think anybody has played this configuration of settings yet. And giants seem kind of they don't seem bad, but uh, let's say I think they're clearly the 30 faction here probably, but at the same time there's a good possibility that giants can put out a good game here. Right.
It's just, is there anyone who's gonna want like their gob up their red hexes? And I don't think swarmlings are gonna want to take any. And then acolytes being like they just burn anything. Maybe they'll leave a few of them alone. I don't know.
Yeah, true. And I think, given the starting positions, I'm not sure where everyone's gonna go as well. Like thinking about that aspect, probably Yetis go on D5, and probably D5, C3, and C4 are probably all occupied. I would assume by both brown, well, Yetis, giants, and acolytes as a starting position. But after that, I'm not quite sure. Probably C7 and C6 for giants and swarmlings, maybe.
Um,
And
well,
then I'm really unsure.
swarmlings might go H4G2 with giants, but then you can get like an
Hmm.
easy block like on H5
Ah,
from
true.
alkalites.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and we have a
Oh,
game.
all right. Barnawall on giants. Hmm. Yeah, I have no idea how to value this. Honestly, these expansion factions, they kind of throw off a bit what little I know about this game. So
Right.
so we do see the opening positions as Danny
yeah,
predicted.
yeah. I guess I got that
Mm-hmm.
right. But I think that stops there. I called C7 and C6. Let's see. Let's see if that happens. Although I'm not sure Swarmings go C6. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's more of a mermaids thing, I
It's
think.
it's sort of like, where does Chris put his second?
F8. Okay.
F8 I think is a pretty straightforward.
Yep, that can work pretty well. I mean,
It, but you don't have
Uh,
the landscape though, so it you can't really do that mega town there. But I guess it still works.
So do you think they have like network points to win though? That's also,
You think Swarmlings want to play for network?
I'm not sure. Do they want to play for network in this setup?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if acolytes can really contest network. Like if there's that sort of faction that can play really economically and just expand a lot. I'm not aware if that's one of their usual styles or tropes.
Yeah, alkalites, since they like, if they don't want to play well on cults, they can just like put out a bunch of dwellings because they're just able to like burn everything.
Yeah, they do have like a bad power, a bad worker income,
Yeah,
as do most Inferno factions, but I guess that's compensated by the ease of putting down dwellings.
yeah, they
And
don't
yeah,
need
they,
to
they
hard
do,
dig anything.
yeah, they don't, yeah. And I guess they do end up with like a shit a shit amount of call points
Mm-hmm.
because they need to dig with them. So I guess they can yield pretty good rewards along the way, like having good cults, like cults and whatever, and get these workers. But at the end of the game, probably they don't really win any cults. All right, C6. So far, so good.
Okay,
In B7. All right, things are going as I predicted. I'm happy about
Bizzle.
that.
Why does Bizzle want to come join the cast?
Ah, who knows?
Uh, just be Bizzle, just being Bizzle, you know.
Um. Oh wow, guys.
Me and Danny both went in different directions. Danny, being the evil guy, he says, "In your losers interview," and I'm trying to be nice. I was like, "Oh, when you win."
Uh,
So where are Yeti's second placement? Like, where is their second placement have to be, and how do they think through this? Normally, if you were playing like an actual like playing brown, you would just probably go B5 here.
And I think that's actually a good spot for them because like they're surrounded by like black and yellow hexes, which is just like one dig, and like a brown hex is a one dig too.
yeah,
So by going there,
I
you can
think
go
so.
like B4, A5.
Ooh,
Ooh.
E8.
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 Is this as spicy as it would be if you were playing
Wow.
halflings or cultists and you're going E8?
Well, you're surrounded by like it's not really hard. It's not really easy to expand from
No,
E8.
no.
And giants with temship kind of threaten D8
Oh
into
my
D9
gosh.
or C8 into D9. So that's a risky play, right? You really need that D8 hex, and then but
But even
I
at
don't.
that, yeah, this is this.
Oh,
So
Yeti's
yeah,
taking
but
that.
Yetis do take temship. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. All right.
So
Okay.
is the leech going which triangle? I
Hmm.
think it has to be
Uh,
C3, C4, D5.
C3.
I
You don't want to
guess.
give a Yetis leech. You don't want to give Yetis leech though. So I think
Okay.
maybe you go C7 first, and that way Yetis probably get 0 leech in the first round, which is a bit, I don't know if you want to counter Yetis that much, but that's definitely a way to
Right.
hinder them. Yeah,
Yep.
C7. Yep.
Now, what was interesting as well is the last game we played with Barnawal, he opened Temple Stronghold. Do you think we're
With
going to see
with
something
giants, yeah.
with Giants? Do you think we're going to see something similar today, or is he going to just go for a
I
classic?
think without the bonus 6 style, the stronghold that gives 2 workers, the pass style, I think it's pretty hard because you need 4 extra workers rather than 2. So you would need a tremendous amount of leech, I think, in order to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
And did he do it on lakes? No, he did it
Yeah,
on which map?
it was
Or
on
was it on
Lakes.
lakes too? It
It
was on
was on
lakes.
Lakes.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you guys think Melison's thinking through? This has been a long first turn. Like, what were the other options here? Just where to upgrade or taking action to first action? I heard some chatter
I
about
guess
that in chat. Like, what were those options there?
I think it was either taking the workers action or the priest, but now the priest is gone, right? The acolyte snatched it up very quickly.
Yes.
So yeah, they're happy about that.
Why are acolytes so happy about a
Uh,
priest here?
well, I think it gives them the 3 spot in fire, and it's like an extra dig when you think about it
Right.
for
So a
acolytes,
3 step is just a terraform for them. So it's a spade
and 2 power,
and two
and
coins and
that
the
way they get
cult.
an extra work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a pretty important priest here.
Yeah, they can move up all the way to 6 on the fire track right away and
Yeah,
Okay.
get
and then
workers,
you
and
can
then just go down that track to terraform their terrains, and then uh,
the next round. Yeah,
next round
Oh, I see.
put their priest to
So you still get the
air
power
and
for going up. Your priest is still on the cult, so it turns into cult coins going into 3. And that's how you sort of
yeah.
game the cults with acolytes.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So, for
see.
example, the fire, the first round is fire. So I guess the logical play would be to send a priest for fire, and then use the other cults, probably water and earth, to dig,
Right.
and then
Water.
try to build, yeah, try to build up air, get the workers round 3, and then use the fire cult to because you don't need the fire cult anymore for rewards
Oh, that's
after the first round.
interesting.
So I think that's how you're supposed to sequence like which cult you use today. You kind of align it with the cult rewards, which
That's
are pretty
very interesting.
decent
So
in
it's
this
kind of
game.
like the opposite sequencing of cultists. Cultists go up the track that they're about to get rewards, and acolytes just burn the cults that they no longer need with no longer rewards.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
Like
once you
anti
used up the
cultists.
reward, you
Huh. I kind of
anti-cultist.
love it.
And I think, although the one thing that's pretty bad for acolytes, I think, is that the spade, the end of round spade, is not very good. I think for acolytes, because when they gain a spade, they only gain 1 cult step. Right? Instead of gaining a spade at the end of a round, they just gain a cult step, which is a third of their cost of spading actually. So I think the cult rewards in rounds 4 and 5, which are spades, are pretty terrible for acolytes here. All right, and we see Yetis taking double dig and making sure to dig that d8 because that's how they kind of expand in that area.
Once the Yetis, once the terrain is snow, or if we can call it snow, uh, you
Yeah,
can't terraform that terrain. It can't be burnt. It can't be double digged by.
no,
Even by
even
giants?
even by
Yeah, it
even by
secures it.
acolytes,
I
by
see.
no one. Yeah,
Okay.
even with the volcano faction, they cannot turn an ice terrain into a volcano, and vice versa, as well.
I guess what I'm wondering though is is Mellison trying to end this round with a stronghold, or is this a temple opening?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think he's getting any leech, right?
I don't
Or
think he has enough workers.
Like, don't
Unless he
you
uses a.
do you normally open stronghold with Yetis in the same way? Like, for some reason, I thought Yetis were like pretty normally a stronghold kind of faction, but could be mistaken.
I think you can do both,
Okay,
right?
so temple opening
Because
isn't
the
like a
strong
meme or something like it would be for
and if
Swarmlings.
yeah, and if you do
Okay.
temple, I think the classic is taking air 2 because power is
Oh,
just
of
really
course.
valuable
It
for
just
you.
doesn't hit the track very well,
Which
but they'll go temple air 2 into a round
yeah,
3 stronghold. Yeah, okay.
something like that. I think so. Yeah.
All right.
But you definitely wanted to sequence it the other way if possible here, but they didn't get any leech, which is, I think if Yeti's got some leech in this first round, I think they go stronghold and probably double dig and take the workers action
Right.
and end with stronghold 3 dwellings and then build a temple next round. I think that was the optimal line probably that Medicine was thinking about, but he got denied leech in the first round, so that wasn't really possible.
So do you think maybe like in round 2 they go for like a double temple opening? Do they?
Oof, maybe. Well, I guess you maybe. I'm not sure though. I haven't really opened double temple. I don't think can you open double temple? Can you do a second temple round 2 and then still get your stronghold round 3? Because that seems like a good target, right? To get your stronghold up
Mm-hmm.
round 3,
Man, it's pretty
probably.
tall. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you I think if you build a second temple round 2, you kind of diminish your probability of
Mm-hmm.
being
Getting a
able to put up the
stronghold?
stronghold
Yeah,
round 3.
I mean, 6
Yeah.
workers? That's pretty insane.
You
Hmm.
do get some workers back after though.
That
Like
is true. That is true.
in round 3, like the bonus you get like a maybe if they're able to get the first priest to air, they're able to get 3 workers
Yeah,
back later.
if they go double temple next round, I just can't imagine they're going to have 6 workers going into round 3. Like, I don't know where those workers are coming from.
That's-
Like,
and you still need coins. You still need coins
yeah,
as well.
like if you got workers and coins onto the big building tile, I guess it's there, and then you just, but like, yeah, that just seems way too tall.
Yeah, it does. I think also without like the 2 workers past tile, it's significantly harder to because those 2 workers are just everything in the early rounds.
So it looks like we already have an interview set up for the end of
Bizzle
the.
just wants some airtime.
Yeah.
Bizzle is just
Yeah,
allowed. It's one of the rules of the Terra Mystica community that Bizzle is just allowed to invite himself to streams. It's just there's nothing you can do about it.
for all that he did
100%.
in the community and everything, he deserves it.
He's in my
Yeah, he can
server.
pop
He'll
it
just barge
and,
in if he
and
wants
pop it
to.
anytime.
Yeah. Um,
So looking at the openings, like, do you think anyone has a better opening, um, or is in like a stronger position?
Hmm, not sure.
I mean, how do we feel about Swarmlings here, right? I mean, so Swarmlings' power actions were they just took single spade and then they had a pocket spade. So
The
they just
spade.
took down two dwellings. They're going to get a trading post. They temple for something next turn, probably just water one. They sanctuary round 3 for air one. Like it seems kind of
It seems
normal and
solid.
clean. Like you're
Yeah.
you're hitting the track well. There's no pass tile points to be had, but I don't know.
Amidst all this chaos that is happening, I think it's pretty good. We'll see if good is enough to win this game, but it certainly seems like a safe plan for the first few rounds, as you've mentioned. Yeah.
The only thing about the Swarmlings game that worries me a little is that they're not really taking advantage of the early cult rewards, which are actually
Yeah.
pretty good, which is like workers, some coins, and more
Hmm.
workers, which normally they'd want maybe like in round 2, I'd say a town to be able to secure the 2 key town.
Yeah.
But they
True.
they do seem like they have like the most stable game plan.
And I think they can sort of sequence their building orders in order to hit 2 towns round 4, if that's something that is valuable to them. Like maybe getting a town earlier for the workers is worth it and is worth the not getting the 5 points. But I think you could engineer building your 2 towns in round 4 here as Storm Rings, probably.
Could you? You need fire
So
two with that, right? You only have oh no, you have 4 trading posts. Oh, 100%. Yeah, Bizzle's
yeah,
just making a play for 2
no,
towns in round 4.
I think that's the because usually with Swarmlings it's either there's some path that you can get a town on each other round. So if you can get a town round 2 and then a town round 4, and then maybe another round
Right.
6, or sometimes you get it round 3 and then the other one it's most likely round 5 and then maybe round 6 with the landscape. So you can get 2 towns by round 4. That's certainly possible. But sometimes it's better to get one round 2 and then one round 4. But here maybe he's
Just
playing more
both
to
of
the
them.
track, a which is a Bizzle thing, playing to the track. That's not surprising.
Basically, all Bizzle needs, it seems like he needs to come up with 3 spades in the next 3
Yep,
rounds to get his towns. Um,
Eh, 4 spades.
4 spades.
a three
Oh
with
no, no,
Three.
with
yeah,
the
three,
sanctuary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
three,
with the
his
sanctuary,
temple's
it's
going
seven,
on
only three.
C5. And then he'll trading post up there next round probably. He sanctuaries on C5. Like he has 3 more TPs, including his round 4 ones. That's B6, C6, and then G7 presumably or something, with dwellings on E7 and H9, a sanctuary on C5. So it's yeah.
Yep.
Question is
Uh,
normally the answer is no here. Once Swarmlings have built 2 dwellings, the returns are quite diminishing. But are we going to see an Earth 1 Swarmlings here? Is that annoying to any of these factions? And maybe Bizzle's trying to make a play for slightly more than just, because if he builds his 2 towns at the end of round 4, his game's going to be kind of done. He'll just be building up like classics, upgrading his digs, like upgrading technology, like that kind of stuff. I guess I was like I'm wondering if like Bizzle might make an Earth 1 play so that in rounds 5 and 6 he's actually like upgrading shipping, hitting some natural blues, connecting, making a bit more of a network play, hitting round 6 a bit better, hitting ship BP and dwelling. Like if he wants to hit the 2 pass tiles in this
yeah.
game and hit round 6, that kind of speaks to more than just his 7 structures and sort of going an Earth 1 route. But I'm curious what you guys think about that.
There's some there's some ways that network can be played for because when you think about he needs like E7 and A9 to connect with 3 ships, right? But then with
Yep.
in 3 ships, he can also hop to E4 and then open up all these moves like E4, H4, H6, H2. And I don't really think E4 is under any threat as of now and like for a mid to long term future. So maybe,
Also,
but it's yeah,
if you look at the other factions, they're sort of like in a tough spot. Like Giants C3 is getting just surrounded. So will they be able to connect that later in the game? Possibly,
I
like
don't
through the
I don't
south.
think so.
It will be difficult,
Yeah,
but it's it's possible.
it's not
And then it
impossible. It's not
yeah.
impossible yet. Yeah,
While as Yetis, it just seems like a foregone conclusion that they're not connecting. So
yeah.
there might be 6 points to 12 points up for grabs for Swarmlings if they're able to get like
Surroundings.
a decent network and connect. Because it's
Yeah, I
definitely
feel
going to
that
be,
should
yeah.
I feel that should be able to connect, but they need a 8, right? And that's an expensive hex for them to get, right? A8 because it's a red hex, so it's a home terrain
It
of a faction
it
giants.
costs four -4 cult steps.
Yeah, so it's not impossible, but they need to. And this A8 hex is kind of awkward for them. It doesn't serve any other purpose than just connection, right? Unless I'm not seeing another connecting. They could like three ship down to E6 and then transform D6 as well and do like a three ship connection. But I think E6 will be gone probably by then. So like the most obvious way for acolytes to connect is through A8. And as I've said, that's an expensive hex for them, and that doesn't serve any other purpose than connection. It's not like it helps a town or it gives
Yeah,
something else.
I think
So
that'd
that's
be
kind
like
of
a late game decision because even
kind
if
of awkward.
they just leave
Yeah,
B7 alone, I think they can still maybe even win network just by digging other hexes.
perhaps. Yeah, yeah. If they strand that temple and just expand somewhere else, you mean?
Yeah, so let's say they go D6, they upgrade a ship, and
Hmm.
then they could go E4, make another town there,
Right.
and make it even
Hmm.
that more difficult for Yetis to connect, and maybe Giants if they
Swarmlings too.
cut Giants
Yeah.
off as well. And
Earth 1, baby. Swarmlings took Earth 1 here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I figured he would do that. It makes sense, I think. This game, as scoring opportunities are kind of limited, the track is decent for Swarmlings. Like the first few rounds are going to be pretty lucrative, but after that, you can't really just sit and do nothing and pass for 8 VPs in this game. That's not a possibility. So
mm,
Also, I just wanted to say really quickly how absolutely clutch that cult step was for Giants in round 1. I was just staring at Barnwell's position and realizing how much more I like it, given that he has that fifth worker and how much of a difference that makes. Um,
yeah, yeah,
it's
that is
so
that is
it's
pretty
so
huge.
good, and I was like, wait, how does he have 5 workers? Did he get workers action twice? Like where? And it was like, no, it's that extra fire
No, it's
worker.
that
It,
cult
it's
step.
and it's that's the difference, right? Because he's going temple here, and he's probably like, does he just temple for Earth 1 and then actually build 2 dwellings with the rest of his power? Like his temp
Uh,
ship, like he can get out
is
three
he? Oh,
dwellings
he's
this
on temp
round.
ship. He's on temp
Actually, he
ship.
just takes a
Yeah.
worker's action here. He builds a temple and he can get out 3 dwellings this round. That seems pretty good.
Yep. You dig like C2 and then or
C2, A3,
A4
A5,
or
or
C2,
whatever.
A3 and E5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess he really wants Earth
Yeah.
1 right now.
That's
So I think that was the decision Barnwell was trying to make. Do I take the workers now or do I get my Earth 1 tempo?
yeah, and I think the workers are not really threatened.
And
I don't imagine anybody taking the workers action here. The only person that could is Bizzle, and he doesn't
But I guess this is a question I
right
have
now.
for you
He
guys, and
takes a single dig.
I don't know these. I don't know acolytes and yetis well enough, but like, are acolytes? Acolytes seem like a faction that like double temple is pretty reasonable stuff. Like acolytes just like opened with an econ favor and they're building a second temple for Earth 1. Is that sort of what's happening here with this
Would
TP on
imagine.
B4?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to assume like they're have to going to score points some way, and like the
Okay,
track scoring for those factions aren't that great.
but
Um,
Yetis Yetis aren't building a second. Well, I mean they don't have the resources. I guess they could figure it out, but like Yetis aren't building a second temple here, right? That would be kind of absurd for them.
No, I think it's probably a dwelling, a trading post, and
Right.
to prepare for the stronghold next round or something like that,
I think
Okay.
or just a
next
dwelling and
round,
passing.
Yetis, if they decide, I think they could go Sanctuary and Stronghold.
Okay.
That might be a possibility, or they're double temple.
I guess the thing I'm trying to get at is like, I wonder why Barnwell didn't just take the workers because his Earth wasn't actually under any threat. I'm assuming it's not. I
Uh,
assume Yetis don't build 2 temples here, but like I don't know
yeah,
these
but maybe
factions
he,
well enough.
he just secures it. He just wants to play it safe and secures the Earth one here.
Fair enough.
I think he's still thinking that the workers are. In order for the workers to be under threat, Yetis would need to get some leech.
Hmm.
I think. I don't think
Well,
acolytes would be interested in taking the workers.
there was a
Just
Well,
3 for 2 for Yetis.
it's still not enough, right? I don't think Yetis want to burn down power this early in
under
the game.
6.
Now, I wonder why Bizzle would have
Yeah.
upgraded there. Is there a reason why he preferred giving like his trading post could have been on B6 just as easily. Like, is there a reason that I don't understand here? Like, why Bizzle preferred giving Yetis a 3 for 2 versus Acolytes a 2 for 1? Yeah, and FireX is responding as well.
Uh, maybe he thinks that Yetis are far behind, and he thinks acolytes are more a threat. So he just avoids giving leech to the faction that he thinks is in a better situation,
Mm-hmm.
or he wants
Or
more leech. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah,
if
he wants
he's
some two
yeah,
for ones.
if he's building his
Mm-hmm.
sanctuary next round, and then he has another trading post upgrade, maybe he's forcing himself to not go for the 2 key town in round 3 and wait till round 4,
Yeah,
which
because
makes no
if you look
sense.
at Bizzle's resources,
Mm-hmm.
he still needs an extra worker, right, to get that sanctuary.
I think Bizzle
So
passes on to
it's
worker
not it.
power, takes a coins action, and has the sanctuary. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably, but yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, so we see Acolytes taking 3 steps down fire and terraforming
Yeah, so
D6.
now fire is of no use to them anymore. So that's what we mentioned earlier in the game.
Wow, just selling out cults that they're of no use to anymore. I don't know why I love that so much.
Kind of a savage move.
I like it though. All right.
Yeah, it's a good it's an interesting design for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Yetis did what I said they would. They just build out their dwellings and a trading post, and that's interesting though. Maybe getting the trading post. I often ask myself that question, like, is it worth to build that trading post or sacrifice your worker income a bit that early in the game?
Yeah. Well,
I understand that it gives you the coins. It gives you the coins to get that stronghold, but it's not clear often to me what's the best path.
Do you think Yetis are going like for like a 7 structure type of game where they might just like because it doesn't look like they'll be um, winning on network,
Yeah,
and
I think
I
they're
don't know.
doing what you. I think they're doing what you've said, right? And I think they're probably taking a action, getting the stronghold, then taking a worker's action, and then getting the sanctuary. Does that compute? Does that make sense with their resources? I think
Um,
so.
yeah, they would have. They need 2 more workers, right? To be able to, they need 8 workers total to build sanctuary and stronghold. Um,
Yeah, and they can take both the coin action and the worker's
yeah.
action, right? Even after they build a stronghold, even if it's already been uh, taken, I think they can do it. So yeah, I think that's the plan. And playing super tall, it's 8 points, and probably they can hit 2 towns the next round. So it's probably like 20 points on the
But
track
then
for the next 2 rounds for Yetis.
would they have to go for fire too to be able to?
No, because their big buildings are worth one more power. They're worth 4 power actually.
Uh,
So they don't need fire two. It's kind of like having fire two built in,
for your
so
big
so to
buildings.
speak. For yeah, for your towns with your big buildings because they're worth one more power.
So
So
they'll be
they
able
would
to.
just need just next round four they would need only a dwelling in the western town like on B9 and the trading post on D4 and that would make 2 towns for the next round.
So Barnawall, what is Barnawall up to here? Is he just pass on the dwelling scoring here and have a really short round? Yeah, he's gonna send a priest off maybe, and then build a dwelling, and then just pass for 5 points and pick up coins going into 4, or maybe a bridge for a town.
Yeah, he wants a bridge. Yeah, he wants either a bridge this round, I think, if he can, or next round. It's
Oh,
not clear, but I don't know. I don't know. There's no bridge pressure, I think, for the other factions. So
okay,
I think there's no rush for that in round three. Like he doesn't need to compromise too much power or
right.
super expensive leeches. I think
Barnwell's
I don't think
like
anyone you
Barnwell probably just like digs F5, builds a dwelling, and then passes on to ship VP, going into a town round where he's taking a ship town, a coins action,
yeah, and
and
like
another
yeah,
priest. I
probably
yeah, I
something
like
like that.
that. That's looking good. Um,
That that's probably his round.
and Bizzle's taking workers here, I
And
assume. He didn't take worker power. He took the coins instead. So he's taking a
Just
worker's
yeah,
action.
he put the priest
air.
to air,
So he wouldn't
which
have
makes
Yeah,
to burn below 6.
yeah. I think that's the
And if someone takes the worker's action on him, he still has his sanctuary. He just has to do it with 3 power. So I think it's
yeah. And Bizzle needs. I think Bizzle needs double dig next round, right? In order to get his 2 towns,
he
probably.
super does,
So
yeah.
so maybe there's some slight calculations to do. So maybe it's not wise to take the worker's action if it prevents you
Oh.
from taking double dig. So maybe you just convert 3 power to a worker.
Well,
If I mean
he's 1
I
power
haven't done the
short.
calculations.
I have. It
Yeah,
well, yeah. I think he's a power short,
yeah,
right?
and that's why he mentioned as well he was a little bit power
I
starved if you're
see.
reading the chat, and that's why he upgraded E7 maybe before he upgraded B6 or C6.
Oh, but he'll get power when he takes his
yeah.
favorite tile for air. So he has enough power because he's going to build a second trading post and have
Is
8
isn't he
power
going to
income.
go water one though?
Oh, well, I don't know. If he gets a leech or is willing to pass on to
Well, maybe.
Tenship. I guess he can also
He,
just
he can
pass on the
Yeah,
spade.
he can use 3 power, just 3 power for a worker, and then he'll get eight
well,
power. Which does that give him enough? I
Not
think
for
that
double dig.
automatically gives him enough.
and I think Erwan is kind of better for it's better actually Erwan for at this point Erwan is better for Swarmlings than Water One
And
because it's always 3 points. Like you're never gonna build a trading post like with resources at Swarmlings. Well,
Mm-hmm.
not in the first rounds. I think maybe in the last round. So
I
Erwan
think
is kind of the same and
it's equivalent, but then getting air one later is more of an
Easier.
option. Like in round after he makes his 2 towns, I think he
yeah,
can easily get air
obviously,
one.
yeah.
But Fatty just pointed out, of course, that Yetis are building a stronghold. So I think Bizzle gets the leech to take a worker's action and probably still have or something.
And still get double
Yeah,
dig next
something
round
like that.
probably.
Yeah. He also can
Yeah,
pass on the spade, so maybe he's taking like he might just take a
But
single spade or something awkward.
I
yeah,
don't think
true.
he needs worker action.
Well, he doesn't need it. I mean, he needs 5 workers. So if you're going to convert 3 power to a
Yeah, he
worker,
doesn't
you
need
might
it.
as well convert a
True,
coin to a
but
worker.
in
All he needs is 8 coins and 5 there.
He just went for it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's Air One, but I don't know. No, never
it's
mind.
probably
It's
Water
Water
One.
One.
It has to be water one.
Has to be Water One. Yeah, I was just mentioning that sometimes that decision between Air One and Water One, if you get that extra spade in air because of the air bump, or if you get an extra worker, then maybe it's good to think about the possibility of going Air One first as Swarmlings, like between Water One and Air One sometimes. But most of the time, it's gonna be Water One between the two.
So are we seeing a water one rush here?
Looks like it.
Does
Sanctuary from Fire X. I guess in advance of the town round. I mean,
I think it's to secure water one.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
seems like a lot, but
and maybe he has plans of getting a bridge town with that sanctuary eventually. If like given the network considerations late in the game, you could make that decision. I think if you see that network is lost to you or whatever, then you can invest in your stranded building if the sanctuary stays stranded. But
yeah. How much effort is it though to take AH? Like
that,
I've heard you guys talk about this earlier. It's someone else's terrain, so that's an extra cult step. Like maybe I'm just totally a noob and I'm missing the point here, but like who cares if it's 3 or 4 cult steps? Is that not that bad? I don't know.
it
Uh,
can
I
lose
haven't.
8 points.
Yeah,
Pardon?
Like that A8 is basically, let's say you can go from first on a call to last, or
But if it's if it's if it's no one else's terrain, it's 3 cult steps. If it's someone else's terrain, it's just 4 cult steps. So it's 1 extra cult step to take A8 versus A7,
I,
right? Is that big of a deal to connect? Like, I don't know.
so let's say if you look at his situation right now, he'd have 1 spade on fire, 2 on
Oh,
earth,
yeah,
and only 1 on, and now he has 2 on air.
right.
So even though like he doesn't have like, if he uses a 4 steps to spade, let's say he uses
he
it
has
on
one less
earth,
spade.
he
Yeah,
I
has 1 less
see.
spade.
Right.
Which, how many spades does
so
he
it's
need in
not.
the whole game?
Yeah, so it's not always. It depends on the configuration of your cult points, of your cult steps and everything. So it's not always costing you 1 spade. Sometimes it's costing you like a half of a spade or a third
Right,
of a
right,
spade.
right.
But like it's not always only a third of a spade, right? It's not just a third more because of you
Uh-huh.
need to reach discrete steps in order to actually use this power, right? So
Yeah, fair enough.
it's not clear always that it's that negligible of an inconvenience. Yeah.
So does Barnwell, like someone mentioned him going straight for coins? What about using a bridge first action, and he'd actually get the 2 key town?
Ugh, is that good here? What is
Oof.
that? What is 2 key
Um,
down
I
doing?
think
2 key town might give him like a couple of cult wins. I don't know,
Okay.
maybe
because
one key town. Uh, two key town can be, yeah, because the cults aren't really contested, but and acolytes will go down eventually.
What about a
I
ship
guess
town though?
Yetis
I mean,
have
he's
their.
on the ship BP. So what about just a priest town or a coin town or a ship town? I kind of like that. I
I think Shiptown and trying to snag F3.
F3.
trying upgrading shipping, but then he needs coins, and
Yeah, I think
he,
Barnwell opens with a
As
coins
soon
action
as
and expects
possible,
people
because
to
that's
give
his
him
or
and expects
I
people to
don't
give him
think
the
the
anyone.
bridge.
bridge.
I don't think anyone's going to take a
I don't
bridge.
think so. And so I think because he didn't down convert at all, right? I kind of loved it. He just passed onto ship VP, couldn't accept any more power. He'll have 7 in both 3. He just opens with coins, expects to wield the bridge, takes his ship town, and goes
No,
on
he
his merry
actually
way.
did. He did down power, but he got a free power when.
Or he down converted just enough though, but it was enough so that when he
Yeah, just
passed,
Yeah,
enough.
he was already sort of effectively full.
yeah.
Which tells me he doesn't want to risk not having 7 power, right? I mean, so to me that means he's taking coins and expecting that the table gives him the
To get the
bridge.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that
We'll
kind of
see if that
level of
gambles pay
arrogance. I
out.
love it. It's slightly cocky, but I kind of appreciate the grind. It's good.
But even if he doesn't
Like,
get a bridge, he can still just like upgrade D7 Sanctuary and dig on E6.
yeah, that's the other plan. True. It's a bit less optimal, but it's still decent. The other faction that might want to bridge is
Acolytes
acolytes, like from B7 to A9. Like,
just for the future, so might as well take it now, kind of
yeah,
thing.
if they want a town with that sanctuary. I mean, well, you're kind of investing already in a plan that you're not sure that you want to pursue, because we talked about maybe acolytes trending that B7 structure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So
but they're the other faction that might other than giants. So yeah,
like in
we'll
this
see. We'll see
situation,
if Barnawall's gambit pays out.
who do you think is winning in this situation? Whose games do you guys like the most?
I wish Bizzle was able to also be doing a bit more on the
Uh,
cults, because I love that he's getting like he hasn't been very wealthy this whole game, but he's been carefully counting his resources and just getting by in exactly what he needs. I love that he's getting 2 towns in the town round. He's going to open single spade. Um, that looks good, but he just isn't doing much on the cults.
I think he'll get a fair amount of like he he doesn't have his towns yet. So like there's 6 workers coming in also. So don't, but it's a bit grim. But don't forget that acolytes will go down eventually. So he
It's
has like basically
true.
second places all around right now,
Right.
essentially.
And
Right.
that's why like
They're all second places.
that's why the two key town I think is like really important, even
Right.
for Barnawall over the one key town. Like two keys for him is still gonna give him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 power, which
Oh, bridge instead of
So it is bridge
coins.
instead of coins. So he
He
must
was
have chickened
afraid.
out, because otherwise, why not down convert a little more so you can accept the leech? It is the ship town.
and he does go ship.
Yeah, I guess he just sort of chickens out on it, I think. Because you can't just hope to, like, acolytes just take coins here, right? Like they just definitely take coins.
Yeah, if going bridge here, I think the two key town is just yeah.
Whoa, Bizzle's taking coins.
Bizzle can take coins. Bizzle can. Yeah, he tape TPs for a town, gets the 3 workers, and
Oh
then
my
single dig and
gosh.
hard digs G7 probably.
Or someone gives him
Yeah,
the power for. Yeah, or he just takes a two key
yeah.
town and gets
I
power for single
either
spade.
that too. Either options are fine. But like even if he doesn't get his power for some reason,
Yeah.
there's still like the fallback of he gets a spade
Yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah. I
with
love
his
I
town.
love
The
that
three
from
workers
Bizzle.
is basically a spade.
So
Yeah,
I don't know who's in the lead here. Chat, what do you think?
and Yetis are getting. We've been we've been shitting on the Yetis game a bit, but they're I mean they're getting 2 towns. They've made up some track points. They've got a good cult in air, so we'll see how they turn this around. But maybe it's not enough. I think Swarm Rings and Giants look pretty good, right? Obviously, Giants have 60 points sort of right now, but
Yeah.
and will pass for 6. I think Barna will
I,
probably upgrade ship once more, and
I think
then digs
yeah.
a F3 or something,
Mm-hmm.
I think Barnwell is
or
maybe gonna
F2.
like plan on upgrading ship like and as you said, get another dwelling and pass fast for coins. So maybe he's making up the coins that he didn't get with Act 4. Get the coins
Mhm.
action next round.
Yeah, and there's also just 7 coins sitting there. So if you're in a coin tight situation, passing for 7 coins and 7 more coins is a pretty good way to fix that. Um, Deep Finesse is just pointing out in
Yeah,
chat that he thinks it's
that's probably
dig upgrades coming from Bizzle.
So would he have enough to like
probably a
upgrade
2.
digs and
Oh,
build out 2 more
get a
dwellings?
town.
Uh,
So
Maybe not. Well, if he,
yeah, with the spade, I think so.
with the spade with some power when he takes the two key town and he
With
takes
the
the
spade, I think
workers.
so. I think Yetis. I think Yetis take the 2 key town now. Probably.
Oh,
I'm assuming. I'm not sure. I think Yetis do snatch it right now
Bizzle can always take a worker town.
because he
Um,
TPs on. Yeah, Bizzle
I think like Chris
digs
has
on TPs on C6 8 workers.
I think he has enough exactly to upgrade digs twice and still be able to get out 2 dwellings because he needs 4 workers for dwellings and 4 workers for upgrading digs, which then with the shovel that he has, he only needs
and two
one
and
worker
and two
Right.
workers.
and
Yeah.
oh, but
Yeah,
he has a shovel, right?
Yeah.
So
And
he
three
only needs
power.
one worker
yeah,
for
exactly.
D7, and he has 3 power for a worker. So and it's 6 coins for uh,
Yep.
Yeah, he has exactly what
but
he
then with
needs. Yep.
he get so he'd go for like let's say a cult town and then maybe a coins town to be able to use those 3 workers to build another temple to be able to get air one. That's what I'd do.
Mm. So after the second town, you mean you get 3 extra workers, and then you take a count time to get the air one going. Maybe.
Yeah, to get the air one going and
Coin town with the second town. Wow.
or he because he only needs what he needs 6 coins, and if he gets double. I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I'm sure Bizzle's counting all this stuff out. He's certainly having a bit of a think about this one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things that he could go for,
Yeah.
but Diggle Grade sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And of course, he can town up any minute for free. As DFNS points out in chat, he has a free town. So anytime he wants, he can just use his free upgrade on C6 to a TP, and he's got a town. I'm sure he's just considering delaying that a little bit if he doesn't have to give people leech now. Why? What was that? A priest to earth. Okay.
I wonder if Bizzle forgot that Yetis could actually town up faster than they expected because the sanctuaries were forced for power. Like he was safe with that 2-key town, or if like he thought about the fact that Yetis could town up faster than him and still took the coins. I wonder what was the situation. Maybe we can ask him in his losers interview.
Yeah, in his losers interview, we can bring him on and,
We'll
and
see.
interrogate him. Mellison saying, "God, that's fun." I assume he's referring to taking spending 3 power for 7 coins.
Yeah.
So we do see.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
that looks
Yeah, Chris is still missing. He could take the priest action and then, if he like wants to upgrade the dig route. But I'm just not sure if he sees that line at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know.
uh,
Because the priest to
we
earth
didn't
kind
see
of
it.
looks
The
like
finesse.
a priest to earth kind of seems like a cult spade, you know, and which isn't entirely consistent with upgrading digs. It might not be where you throw your priest.
So is Mellison taking another cult town?
Yeah. I would assume so. Maybe that. Well, it's not. Yeah, there's no cult towns
Just
anymore.
Just a
Yeah.
priest town.
Yeah, your classic priest town. Yeah, I think as Deep Finesse is mentioning, maybe he wants to ship with his priests
Right.
instead, Bizzle that is, in order to try to connect or expand. It is true that upgrading your digs is kind of less attractive in a game where there's no landscapes, probably.
Yeah.
And if he can get on that ship VP pass style at least once
Yeah, it's true.
in the following rounds, then maybe that's a good way to get a return on that shipping upgrade.
So we also did see Barnawall upgrade shipping, but he didn't take the hex that you predicted, which was F3. He took F4 instead.
Yeah, I think there's no rush for F3 or F2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking at it, he has multiple ways to connect.
maybe getting to two. Yeah. Yeah. The worrisome thing about Barnawall is another bridge for a town, and he's kind of low on coins. So at least there's some good coins in the past towns. So I guess that's less of a worry. But Bizzle digs E6.
Bizzle digs E6 and he digs it with power, which is, I mean, this is kind of strange. This really is saying he's making
So
a
he wants to
network.
connect.
It's really saying he makes a network play because he's actually spending an entirely like a whole extra spade to do this. Like he could have done the double dig on G7, which opens up a free blue, but instead he's double digging E6. He'll just use his bonus spade on F7 and he's towning that way. So that's a lot less efficient between not upgrading digs and taking double dig on E6 instead of G7.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of stuff invested in I want to connect I want my cult spade to go somewhere.
Yeah,
I want to hit
that's a lot
ship
of yeah, that's a
VP.
lot of
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I love
So where
it,
do you think the
but
cold spade goes? Does he try to search?
where does the cult spade go? I mean,
Maybe just
Does
H8.
he
yeah.
try to look for a third town?
Uh,
H8, I would assume, yeah. And then you can go like H8 if somehow you get with these cult digs, you can probably dig through I7, right? With these end of round spades, and then
Get a town down over there.
but it's
Does he
it's
have
kind
the
of because now
workers?
instead of spading G7, yeah,
Is it just me or is
you
Danny
can
cutting
spade
out?
F7 for your town from H8 to H9, right?
totally. Danny, also, I think you're cutting out a little bit. Sometimes you go to talk and it sounds like there's a bit of a delay. I don't know if your connection is poor or something, but just FYI. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, he might cult spade H8. That obviously opens up H9 on one ship. The only consideration to that is that, like, sure, triple digging I7, but like, I think he's only getting one air spade at this point. Like, he's not getting, even with his possible air one take next round, I don't think he's, you know, getting up to the eighth step. So I think he has like he can cult spade H8 with his earth spade, and he can I7 to brown, and then he has to come up with three more digs to try to connect those four hexes. So I'm not
Hey
sure.
guys, are you hearing me better now?
Hey
Am I
Danny,
am I still cutting up?
Yeah.
you're here. Sounds good.
Okay, cool, cool.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that Bizzle maybe was digging H8
Mm-hmm.
and then going to town from H8, I7, I8 through H9, and then helping with the cold spades from earth and air. That might help him, dig I7.
He'd only need three more workers, or if he's able to upgrade digs, then
Yeah.
Yeah,
he has two free spades, let's say, and which is H8, I8, and then he'd need I7, which is only three digs. Which in 2 rounds, I think he might have enough to be able to pull that off.
yeah, and now he can upgrade ships, spade H8, upgrade ships maybe and twice and build on H9. No, that's a bit too expensive. Maybe.
Here's a contradictory thought, guys. Like, I think he might be able to pull off another town there, but it's going to be another Temple for Fire too. He's going to have to build a trading post that he's going to have to, I think, just pay for and expensive. I don't know, but no, I guess he wouldn't. But it would still have to be a Temple
Yes,
for Fire too. But anyhow, I guess my point is I think Bizzle might be looking at this and saying like Yetis aren't connecting, acolytes don't look like they have a great network here, like huge network aspirations. Like I think Swarmlings are just saying like I'm probably not beating Giants network, but like there's 12 points if I want them, and I have Earth 1 in round 6 as a dwelling round and ship BPs in. He might be also considering, as opposed to doing more inefficient digs all in one place to get some extra town points, he may just prefer to use his spades on cheaper hexes that open up more stuff and just try to spam out a lot of dwellings in the last 2 rounds. He can go G5, H8, H4, H6,
Problem
H4, all that kind of stuff, and just try to play sort of
the
network Earth one Swarmlings. Yeah.
the problem with that, I think, is that Giants can really crush their dreams instantly if they try to do that. Like if Giants just take E4, then that whole plan kind of
Is it?
it's just
Uh,
over.
no,
Well,
it's
Well,
like
it's
I
not
think too
not
that
over.
South is
the South.
like if he was like what Aaron was trying to say is if he upgraded shipping twice,
Hmm.
which I think he had the resources for, he could have used his spade on G5 and then H5, H4, H6, H4.
This
Yeah.
round, you mean?
Or
Yeah.
any round, like between now and
Oh,
like in
okay.
round 6 even, right? Like I just think there's enough hexes that Bizzle might be able to get through. Like he obviously
Yeah,
he obviously put the effort into connecting, so he's making a play for network, I think.
but I guess my point is, do you need to expand that much to get your 12 points? I think you get 12 points if you get a
I
third
see.
down, or if you
Fair
or if you
enough.
or if you invest. But notwithstanding the argument that it's true that it's last round dwellings and there's the ship VP scoring. So, but I think either way, whether he goes for that network stretch or whether he goes for a third down, I think he just gets 12 points in either cases.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
That's where what we're comparing is a third town better than the VP points that you would get out of building more dwellings,
Right.
and
And the town means
yeah,
upgrading digs, which also means no
probably
pass tile. And the spam dwelling means slightly more dwellings, probably a couple more maybe. So more Earth 1
yeah,
points and ship VP. And I think it's one of the
true,
two.
and a dwelling pass tile too, maybe that can
And a
be
dwelling
handy.
pass tile. Right. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's a tough, yeah, it's interesting. It's a and I think Yetis are trying to make a play for a third town, right? Around
Yeah,
that G5 area.
oh, okay. Um,
and they also need those, like, because next round's a trading post round, which is
Yeah.
will be good for them on points, and they also need neighbors for like building trading posts. So that, and also being able to get a town there, I think that's pretty strong.
Yep.
yikes.
So yeah, more and more, I think like the Yetis game is starting to turn around. Like I was a little skeptical, but if they're able to get a third town, they might even
Get it.
push Swarmlings later to be able to, even if they don't have those four structures connected, they might
Yeah.
still be able to beat Swarmling on network.
hmm Uh, yeah. Again, these are micro decisions, but uh, yeah, I'm not sure how Swarmlings because because if Swarm
Yeah, the only game I'm like really worried about right now is Fire X.
Right.
Um,
What do you think
just
sort of went wrong for Fire X here?
he doesn't seem to be doing that great on network. He doesn't seem to have a really great spot for like a second town unless he gets the bridge to A9, A10,
Right.
and yeah, and then with being alkalites, he's just losing so many cult points just to get those digs out. And if he'd want to try to compete on network, he's just going to lose all his points on with those cults.
Yeah, are acolytes like normally a more of an expansive faction? I'm this is sort of my I think my first time seeing them in action. So, um, like when they first started off, they kind of looked not dissimilar to cultists. Like they opened temple and a dwelling with an econ favor into another temple for Earth One and another dwelling. Like they had I don't know 2 temples and 2 or 3 dwellings at the end of round 2 and that kind of thing. But like since then they like they built really tall in round 3 and they just it seemed to kind of kill their economy a little bit and they haven't really expanded. But is this normal for acolytes or are you more apt to see them being more expansive and playing more around the map?
Yeah, when I played alkalites and whenever I've seen them, they've actually done pretty well in network, even though they have sort of like an engineer style income
Right.
where they're missing workers. Normally, they're able to get a really strong network because their digs are just cult points. But also, what's important for them is the two key town.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not getting points out of the cults, it's just giving them the extra step is giving them so many more digs, uh, or like terraforms, as we can say.
So, chat, who do you guys can you rank the player like the factions here in terms of who you think is in the best position to the worst? I'm also interested if you guys think there's a huge variance. Like if someone here is like obviously kind of losing or obviously doing quite well. Um, yeah, curious what you guys think. But wow, these cults are wide open. Look at the fire cult, right? Like 3 players are tied for the top award in fire at 2 steps in round 5.
That's what I was saying. Like with Barnwell, like
Taking the 2 key.
taking the two key, if you would have been able to take the two key town instead of the ship. I know the shipping was sort of like maybe
Yeah,
it was 3 points more since he was on the shipping pass tile, but he might still be able to win a cult or two.
right.
Because then I think like um, Yetis, then they're like you have to remove like at least one step from Yetis, and then you have to remove potentially another step from Swarmlings, or either from Swarmlings or Alkalites.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I
Okay,
think
yeah.
I think I went out. I went out for a bit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to have you back. Ryan and I were just sort of while pitching this to the audience, but also talking through it ourselves. Like, I'm curious what you think, Danny. Like, who's sort of like in the lead here? Like, if you sort of had to like rank these four factions in terms of who you think's in like the lead to the last, and then also if you think that someone's sort of obviously crushing this game and obviously like, their game's kind of sketchy.
I think I think Swarmlings are a bit ahead right now.
Yeah,
I think even like not only in points right now, but in long term, I think
yeah,
they have a decent network. They'll have probably first place in Earth and Water
uh huh,
because Acolytes will go down, and second place is in the other ones. So decent gold points, decent network. Uh, if they can make a play for that ship VP at the last round, that could be pretty good. And I guess Giants probably get network. Uh,
you'd think.
although maybe they win network. Although Giants' second town has been compromised a bit with that B3 dig from Acolytes.
Oh, is there a
So
second town?
that's
It's D3, isn't it? Just like a bridge in
It's
D3.
or
it's equivalent.
oh true yeah true.
I mean, they don't
Never
have as
mind
many
then.
Well, they still have two neighbors. They have a neighbor on C3. Yeah, so it's four hexes, a bridge,
Yeah,
two reds, two adjacent.
it, yeah, it
Could be
doesn't matter
worse.
really. True.
So Giants have 18
Maybe
network points. They have another town coming in. Um, Cults? No,
not really.
not really. Swarmlings, as you say, are going to go 8, 8, 4, and 4 on the Cults and 12 on network without really doing much of anything else.
Hmm. Yeah. And they're staying on a pass stat right now, which won't yield a lot of points, probably, but it's still 2 or 3 points,
Can I
something like that.
just like to
Yeah.
point something else out quickly? So Bizzle just upgraded his trading post on F7.
Will he like
Yeah.
use his income to do E6 next, and then
Well, I guess my point is that kind of why wouldn't you build a dwelling on H8 and then build a trading post on H8? That kind of says that he's not going for another town because he has.
Unless he's like, yeah, unless he's like super playing. He's not gonna build H8 at all this round. Maybe
yeah,
that's his plan. But
Why
maybe he's gonna
not?
I
build
don't.
them in the
I
dwelling round. It's 2 more points of dwelling.
I guess, but
yeah,
you're
but
on the dwelling tile, right? So it's like
yeah,
it's a free worker for a point. Like even swarmlings would pay a point for a coin. So like you just build it on H8, and then you build your trading post on H8, and that's how you indicate that you're building another town. This way, he
or
has to
you
build.
you leave yourself the opportunity to do
Totally.
that if you want.
Because
Yeah,
otherwise, if he wants to town there now, he has to. Like, he only has one more free trading post. He needs two down there with a Fire 2 temple. So that means that he has to pay for a trading post upgrade next round. And it's an expensive trading post. So like now he needs an 8 coin trading post to form a town.
But maybe the dwelling past tile was just to like block the
Probably.
Yetis from getting it. He wants to keep
maybe
their score down a
maybe
little.
the other option that I see that he's doing is he's building a temple and he's upgrading a trading post on E6. Maybe I think that's you told. That's what you said, Ryan. Was that what you? I'm not
Well,
sure, but
yeah, he's maybe doing
yeah,
another trading post on E6 this
yeah,
round. Um,
Or did Bizzle just forget
yeah,
that there's no landscape? That's what Deep Finesse is saying. Because look, he is building on H8. He's also going to build on H9. Why wouldn't you? It's you're paying a point for a worker.
yeah,
And
I'm
and also he's not have to build another temple this round. He does have one more trading post, and he already has Air 1. So he might just pay for a trading
true,
post upgrade this round for 3 extra points. And then temple
yeah,
for something else next round, and then use his ability once more.
yeah.
Yeah, anyhow, I don't know. That's just a little confusing to me. Another thing to
so
add to the list of things to ask him in his loser's interview.
So what I'm wondering about Yetis now is can they build 4 trading posts this round? Can they do 4 TPs in a temple? Because they can take actions 4 again, right? So that's 17 coins. Yeah, that's
Whoa, that's
exactly what they
super what
need,
he
right?
does. So it's just a copy of Air 1 and 4 TPs?
Yeah,
That's
I think
spicy.
that's the Yeti's plan probably, which and that's one hell of a TP round, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
they're gonna catch up a bit to the
They
other guys.
also have a town coming in as well.
Yep. It's a 28 point TP round with the TPs and Air 1 plus a town. I don't know what towns make sense for Yetis, but
I don't think they get a town this round because they don't have the dwelling on G6, I think.
oh, I see. So they just TP on like
Yeah,
E8 or somewhere
exactly.
cheap, right?
Yeah, because they have 10 workers, so that's exactly one temple and 4 trading posts. And 17 coins, which is one temple and 4 trading posts too. So that's it's pretty clutch.
And then is he going to build dwellings in the last round? I mean, I know he doesn't have Earth 1, but is he still making a
There's at least one dwelling on G6, I think, for the town. That's pretty
yeah.
guaranteed. And
And
then maybe
even
it's dig
he
upgrades.
uses even if he uses his digs, he can like dig E2 F2 and maybe like still compete for second on network.
Against
Yeah.
Swarmlings? Because Swarmlings, well, it's hard to know. Our last plan for them was Network 11 with us with a third town. But it's hard to say what's going to happen after Bizzle forgot that we're not playing Scapes.
I wonder if there's a fourth town in the books for Yetis somehow.
Wouldn't they need fire too then?
Yeah, probably, and a bridge like E2, F2, H3, and I2. That's
Well,
too
wouldn't they
expensive.
also have to not just spam trading posts in random
Yeah,
locations? They'd want
exactly,
dwellings this round, which would
exactly.
make their TP round less hot.
Yeah. That's
So
not
it's
worth it.
so Peter's saying, oh, maybe Yetis do connect with F9 G7 after upgrading digs. F F9
Oh,
G7 up between Bizzle. Bizzle doesn't have dig upgrades. Like,
that may be
yeah, and
that
it's a
that may be
dwelling
a path.
round.
Yeah,
It's a dwelling
yeah,
round, like, and then that's a sizable network, right? Because he'll just have 5 dwellings on his board if he does the TP4 dwelling thing, and he
yep.
can upgrade digs and get out 3 next round or something, or I don't know.
And upgrading digs for Yetis is like one. It's 2 workers less. Like if you count
Oh,
both upgrades, it's only 1 worker per
oh,
upgrade.
that's
So
so
it's less.
juicy.
Yeah, it's less intensive, especially now that if he gets enough leech, he can take workers action at will as well, and coins action at will. So it's that late game push from Yetis
Right, and he'll
that
have all
we.
this crazy power income. I don't know if he's going to be able to cycle it all properly.
I
He's going to
think
have 16 power income.
yeah, that's nuts.
How many coins actions can he take with that?
16 power income. I guess 5. I don't know. He's like 35 coins.
I guess
So
Bizzle could still intervene in that connection path though. If he sees Yetis like aiming for F9 and
Yeah,
G7,
might be
I think
worth
Bizzle
it.
could.
Double dig G7.
Yeah,
That
Bizzle could intervene a bit, I think.
Bizzle would be the player to do that too.
Indeed. Indeed.
well, what if they switch up and maybe they try to build a town down like I6, I7, I8 where Bizzle was supposed to build his town, and then they need I5.
Um,
Because it looks like they might have the economy to pull it
well,
off.
the only problem with that is like if Yetis do that, they need to not build all their trading posts this round, or they need to locate them down there, which means like that's why I'm
Spending
not.
dwellings
I
and
realize
resources to
Yetis
dig.
have
Yeah.
like infinity resources or something. I'm coming to understand that a bit, but like once you've built 4 trading posts, and you have 5 dwellings on the board. That's a lot of temples. Like that's a slog. I guess it's just a
Yeah.
temple, and then I don't know. It it seems like an absurd amount of work, but I could be wrong.
Uh, Doing all the training posts this round seems pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the question is, did Yetis really need to
Take
like
all
coming
that
back to the
power.
to the, or yeah, well that too. But I was gonna say like the starting position. Like was there a way that they didn't like exclude themselves from connection? Like what was the what was the advantage of going d8 instead of
B5.
couldn't they have another yeah, couldn't they have another easy town? Like like I guess the d8 spot it is another easy town because it's like cheap digs for brown if you're not disrupted by giants, which they weren't.
They
So I was
weren't because
wondering
they ended up getting double dig in round one, right?
temp ship. Yeah. Yeah.
Which
And yeah, and
yeah,
they took
but I
temp
guess my
ship
point
in
is it's
order
like
for
the slight concern for Browns, well, for anyone starting D5 and B5, like is if giants are in the game, is that you can't secure D4 and B4. But they ended up getting double dig, right? They just opened temple three
yeah.
dwellings, so like they could have just maybe they didn't foresee that, but like they could have
Hmm.
just secured B4 and D4 round one.
Yeah. Because now it seems like they could have done the same game plan of having two towns round four, but if they start b5 or somewhere else, then maybe they leave themselves an easier path for a connection than what it currently is the case right now. So
Right. We do see Bizzle upgrade to 3 ships just a moment ago, just before Melson took the coins action. So Bizzle's next move, presumably, is a dwelling on E4. No, he has no resources. Never mind. He was just upgrading
yeah,
his ship to get ready, or to not overproduce priests.
yeah, it's a shame he's not gonna be able to pass on that ship VP. I think acolytes can have to
Oh
have some
yeah,
actions to
I think
solve.
acolytes have 2 more turns, or because they can't use their workers. Acolytes can use a priest, or they can just dig.
yeah. They can just dig.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can just dig randomly. So I think Chris is sort of like stuck where he ends with no pass tile.
probably Yetis are the last to pass, and I would expect Yetis have still have a few actions to do,
I think
at least two.
Barnawal's pretty happy to pass. So I think when Bizzle passes, the dwelling tile just goes to giants here.
Yeah, coin
Maybe
town for
well,
Barnwald,
maybe the coin town indicates Barnawal wants another TP up by the end of this round, but
perhaps. Yeah,
Does Barnwell have enough now to get a third town?
he could. I think if he needs another bridge, but if he digs f3, probably because he needs f3 to connect, right? So I'm assuming
He
that
needs 2 digs.
so he'd need
yeah,
to take double dig. And
or six worker it, but yeah,
but like he also wants to not build his trading post on A3 right now if he wants another town. He really wants that trading post on F3. Right,
Because he could
like,
build that trading post F3, upgrade it to a
but not this
temple, and then
turn, right?
yeah,
So
sanctuary next.
yeah, or just TP temple and another trading post and a dwelling. Like he can just fire to it, kind of. I just mean that Barnwell taking that coin town kind of indicates that he wants to get this last TP out this round, and if he's doing that, then he's not getting a town. Because I don't think he can town if he puts that TP on A3 or F5 or whatever.
yeah.
Um, so Bizzle did pass. Yetis, of course, are staying in. Question is, does Barnwell just want that pass tile, or is he staying in the round and giving it to acolytes?
Like Yetis, like would it be also for Yetis? Would it be better for them to get maybe go for water 2 here?
Ooh,
I don't know. Where's
Oh,
George?
for air 1.
George.
I think
It is a contested cult.
true. Maybe it's wild, but can Yetis do actually two temples this turn
And two,
and two trading
Oh my
posts?
gosh.
because they do have another coins
They have a
action.
lot of yeah. And if they take water too, as you've said, that's some
Oh,
power.
that's four
And
Yeah,
power you can get by going a step up Earth, and then 2 up water is 4 power, which gives them
but
6
they
in the
lack,
goal 3.
but they only have one neighbor left, like on E8, right? There's no other spot
Yeah,
that has a neighbor, so
it's not that
it's
juicy.
mm,
Well, and then
Like,
we didn't talk about this, but this is just also a nice break for Mellison. Just getting to stay in the town, take his damn time, smashing track points, and then just casually slide onto the ship BP at his leisure. That's pretty nice.
mhm,
So he does opt to build a
Okay,
town right away.
so he pays
that makes
two
sense.
points for the town, and it's a power town. What does that mean?
Oh,
Oh, the power
Workers
town is
points.
No, this is the thing. The
is
power town is OP because he would have overflowed, and so this power you like count it twice, right? Because the way his power bowl was situated, had he just like he could down convert a couple, but he's gaining like 16 power income,
and he's converting
right?
them with power actions too.
Exactly.
Like he
So
doesn't need.
this power town is
Yeah.
particularly OP.
All right, what he can do right now is he can take a priest action, the coins action, and a dig action. So he can upgrade his shipping, uh, build a dwelling on an I7,
Oh, and then TP there,
and then TP there.
temple and
Uh,
TP there. So you're saying,
I don't think he has enough to temple and TP, but then he has 2 digs with the cult, and then
oh,
he could
okay.
dig I6, I8, and then he could get a third town with I5.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's a possible play. Or he could just get workers, coins, and build another uh, temple and another trading post.
I think there's always a temple and a trading post, right? This round probably like probably
But
for Air One. Bless
but
you.
Thank you.
in theory, that's like 6 points this round. It's 3 more points this round. Because if you do it next round, you're still getting 3 points from the temple. But if you go for that town, um, it could be worth potentially 11 points.
But you still need to build a yeah. Well, building a temple, you're gonna need to build a temple to get to that town, right? In either way, either case.
Yeah, so the trading post this round is 5 points.
Yeah.
He
Coins
decided.
and workers. So, given Yeti's ability here, do you just normally expect them to win network? They seem like such a strong economic faction.
I haven't played enough yet
Okay.
with them, but I think they have to be like a strong contender for network, like just
Yeah.
from this standpoint of them taking a lot of power actions.
So here's the temple. Air 1, of course, doesn't come with a step, but it's just going to be 8 points.
Yeah.
Is anything better than 8 points? What? Oh, no, he just took Air 1. Okay. So, yeah, it was just temple for Air 1, final TP.
And then maybe he can take a priest action still and set it somewhere. That's a possibility. Or he can just pass right now.
Yeah.
Um, I think sending the priest is probably better.
So to fire, maybe.
Priest of
Right?
Fire.
Trying to get these
Get
like
some more gold points.
he could have taken 2 priests instead of that worker's action. Right? Could have taken a priest and another priest and like close out the fire cult. I think that was a good option as well, instead of taking the workers.
And he just down converted to coins. All right. Airspeed's coming in. 1 for Bizzle, followed by 2 for Acolytes, followed by 2 for Yetis.
Yeah, acolytes just
Well,
go off
acolytes don't get
Oh,
spades.
Acolytes don't get
Yeah, they
spades. What am
just
I talking about? So he.
no, yeah, no. Yetis could like turn to ice G7 and then like not ice. No, they're brown, right? So turn to ice F9. Sorry, right? If they want to hope to connect, and then hope that Bizzle doesn't just dig G7 out of his first move and take it for themselves. But that's risky.
So Acolyte's ability is that when they get cult spades, they can't take their cult spades and instead they just convert them into cult steps.
Step singular.
Singular.
For one spade,
So
you get one cult step.
so
Yeah.
Acolytes just got a step on water and a step on earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad deal. but okay.
It's that's what I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's really not a good deal. If you compare that with Dragon Lords, the other volcano faction, when Dragon Lords get a cult step, a cult spade, sorry, they get the full power token back, I think,
Right.
which is the same cost as a spade, whereas acolytes here get a third of a spade as a reward
I
for the
see.
cult spades, which is why it's not really it's kind of a terrible reward for acolytes. And I wonder why. Maybe they tested that it would be too broken if they got the full worth of a spade as a cult reward
Yeah.
with
Like
spades.
3 steps.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
they
it's probably just also really swingy at the end of the game, right? Because like
yeah,
they would use those 3 steps and not take a spade with it. Because like 3 steps on a cult that has
true.
all the priest spots taken is just like 8 points. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
yeah, it's worth a lot.
it's worth a
That's true.
lot. So actually, like those steps now actually aren't terrible. Like those are pretty important steps, right? A step on water and earth in this board state's like pretty decent. Three
It
Yeah.
steps would
does
be
look like
stupid. Yeah.
it
Hmm.
does look like he's gonna try to connect through G7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to give it a shot, I think. But now the thing is, does he take his time and upgrade digs before, or he just rushes it right now? I guess because it's still a triple dig, right? So he could just like take action 6 and 3 workers. It's expensive, but because if he
Well,
takes his time and ups his digs, then Bizzle could still have a say in this. Yeah,
But he has one tempo on the digs upgrade. So let's say like because Chris took the coins, Bizel took the coins,
yeah,
and Melisson now he can just upgrade twice his digs
yeah,
before he takes the power actions, and he could go straight for a triple dig G7, and then he just takes like spams workers and coins and
yeah. I don't think Bizzle wants to block him anyway. I think that Bizzle has
I don't
other
know.
stuff to
is
do.
that like a big swing though? Like
Well,
I think Chris is currently winning
this is the thing.
over
Like,
Melisson.
Bizzle doesn't have upgraded digs, and it's going to destroy Bizzle's entire round to do
Yeah,
that. Now, mind you, he is probably fighting Yetis for network here and would get network points on them, but like, he's finally upgraded his ship. He wants to hit H4. He wants to hit H6. He wants to hit I8. He wants to hit, I don't know, can he dig H3? And like, he wants to get 4 dwellings out this turn. I don't know if there's a path for 5, but like, he's got a game like that. And then like, or he doesn't do any of that and he just double hard digs G7 with workers.
Mhm.
So
yeah. I
I
think if
think it's kind of
he
safe.
Now there's like,
he has 4 dwellings left to build, right? So
and he
he'll
can't
reach,
build them all.
yeah, at the very
Well,
least 4, maybe 5. Right?
yeah, I don't
You
know.
have I8, you have H4, H6, and H2. Right? These are the 4 ones that can go on right now. And then you build a trading post with your power, and then you need to find 1 dig. And
Well, and then a
but
worker
that's
for the dwelling, right? Because he would need 10
true.
workers. So I think he's short.
Yeah,
Deaconess is saying in
yeah, he's
chat
short.
that I think Bizzle gets to 14 structures and is okay with Yeti's tying. So that's 4 dwellings, upgrades his trading post, ends the game with 2 temples and a dwelling on the board. And
Can Yeti go?
Yetis just get,
But can Yeti go to 15?
I don't
Do
know,
Yetis go to 15
uh,
with 9 power tokens in bowl 3? I mean, that's maybe. I'm not sure though, but because Yetis only need 2 ship to connect, right? They don't need 3, so they don't need to ship out again.
It's yeah, they could like focus. You're saying they're just like focus on network and not on upgrading shipping to.
Yeah, if
right.
that's a path to beating Bizzle in
And,
network, maybe it's worth it.
and they
And
need four
but
spades here, right? To get out 4 structures, Yetis, to go to network 15, a double, like 2 on
Now,
G7, F2, H3, whatever.
yeah,
now
four
does
digs
this
exactly.
give possibly a town by him like giving neighbors to like giants? Does it possibly give him a town? Giants? Do you think they have a play on a third town now?
Um, They need fire 2 probably, right?
Like they get
And
fire two dwellings is two, but they need two digs and probably a bridge
yeah, I
on
think it's a bit too
F3 and
expensive. A bridge on F3 and a dig on G3 or whatever,
yeah, dig on
or
G3
H5.
or H5 and then a bridge. So they yeah, I just don't I don't think that the economy for that.
It's like 8 workers to get the temple, the trading posts, and the 2 dwellings, and then another trading post. So that's, yeah, that's 8 workers total. That's 13, 15 coins. Yeah, I think that's too much with a bridge and another dig. I don't really see that happening.
So we've also been talking about like Chris, how he's doing good with like 110 points. FireX is also at 95. He is getting another town,
Mm-hmm.
but he's probably finishing last on network.
Given how things are going, yeah, probably.
Does he have any cult wins?
Um, I would assume he doesn't really need to dig out more than
No.
probably needs,
So,
but
but he takes a copy of
it's
fire.
dwellings.
Well, he needs to build a temple, or and a
For
dwelling,
fire
and
too.
or yeah, temple for fire too.
I think he just spams dwellings, right? Can he? How many digs did he have? He has like 2 digs left, right, with water.
But it's removing 8
Yeah, is
points.
that worth it?
Yeah, yeah.
I, I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure either. These are the
These are the
He only
questions.
needs
tricky.
one more dig for a town.
Or a temple for fire too.
Yeah. So if he gets if he puts a priest to fire, uses another priest to fire, then uses that as a dig, he's still.
Yeah,
Or he has the dig
He
actually.
also has a cult
He has
step if that helps.
yeah, he can use it in air, right? Put his priest to fire,
Mm-hmm.
use it
and
in
then just
air.
use the cult step on air to burn out another hex,
Yeah, and that's 2 hexes that he needs
uh,
for the town.
and then
Yeah,
he's in good position on water, which he's first, and if he's able to get those priests, he's first as well on fire.
I see. So he might actually end up with 2 cult wins here. That seems
But I think as soon as he puts a priest, someone else is gonna probably fill that
Bizzle.
spot.
Just
yeah.
Bizzle.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Bizzle is sitting on
Bizzle
three
doesn't have
priests.
enough resources for 2 more dwellings, right?
Yeah, he
I don't
does.
think so.
Oh.
He has exactly enough. He has
Well, he's missing a
extra
hex. I'm trying to
2 points.
like count the whole thing. Like,
No,
I
he
ate
has
H2.
H2. He has
oh,
H2 and I8. Yeah.
oh, and he has a spade that he hasn't used. He has a
Right.
bonus spade,
Spade 8, A9.
which he's not going to use. So,
He can't really annoy anybody, right? He can maybe annoy Yetis with it on G7, but not really because Yetis are just gonna take it. So
how do they annoy Yetis on G7?
yeah, they don't. They don't. It's already a triple dig for Yetis. I was thinking maybe they can turn it into a triple dig, but it's already a triple dig for them, so it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
really matter. And you can't really annoy giants or acolytes with it, so yeah, it's kind of a useless spade.
Yeah.
So let's say quick math for Yetis here. To build out all their remaining 4 dwellings, how many workers would they need?
Well, they need 4 workers and 8 coins, which gives them 2 workers left, no coins in the power.
And then
And
they need
yeah, the power they
Spades.
five
can take.
workers, 5 workers of spades, right? 3 on G7 and 2 somewhere else. Am
Right.
I counting correctly?
And they have 1 worker's action. So they have 5 workers. Right? Because they can take a worker's action, and then they have 2 spare
Yeah.
Yeah,
workers. They have 5 digs,
yeah.
and that's enough.
Well, they still need. So we counted 4 workers for the dwellings and 5 workers for
I
the
think they're
spades. So
a
that's
worker
9.
short.
So they're one. Currently, they're 1 worker
Oh,
short. Yeah, in order to reach 15.
right. So they do just tie Bizzle with 14 network.
If they don't get any more leech, which they shouldn't, I think. probably.
Right. It's too bad they won't be able to upgrade ship a third time. That's a nice 7-point ship advance, but well, there's the priest.
Well,
Like, okay.
yeah,
If they're only building 3 more dwellings, then they have extra resources.
Oh, that's true.
yeah. They have actually 2 workers left and 2 coins left, right?
But that was if they took the workers
Oh.
action.
Ah, fair.
So right now they're actually, uh,
A worker short now.
I think they're a worker short of building out to 14 structures.
And upgrading shipping. If their 2 power is 2
Yeah.
coins. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, math. I don't know what Yetis are doing. Something.
Yeah, they have the workers if they use the priests, but they're missing. I think they're missing like a couple power.
They need leech, in other words.
Yeah.
which I don't think they'll get.
I don't think anyone's
probably.
given them leech, no.
No. Which I guess can really, Yetis are kind of a heavy swing faction. I think their game is just so much better if they get early leech and are able to open stronghold and get the temple round 2 instead, right? That's just 9 more points. Well, it's 4 more points because they did get the stronghold in round 3, but it's a pretty substantially better opening, I think, for them in that track to start with the stronghold if they get that extra.
Now, when you
early
open stronghold into a round 2 temple, do you still take air 2? Or do you take another econ favor, or do you take Earth 1 if it's still
I don't
lying
know.
around? Like, what do you do normally as Yetis if you go stronghold into temple? Which just seems very challenging.
guess-
That's hard for a lot of
I guess-
factions to do.
I guess it depends on how much power you've burnt, and it depends if you have
Oh.
the landscape. I think the
Right.
landscape allows you to. The landscape adds 2 tokens to your
I see.
directly into your bolt 3. I think so. If you have like still 14
Yeah.
power tokens, then yeah, I mean getting 10 power income is pretty nuts. I think.
We do see a late water 2
and you
from
won't-
Giants, which is it's a pretty big swing of points in these very congested cults.
Yeah, that's a clutch water too.
Yeah.
Do they have enough resources to get out an extra dwelling? I think they're missing like 1 worker.
Aren't they missing more for Giants?
I think they're missing like exactly 1 worker
Well,
to be able to.
they have no free
They're
res.
missing 1 worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can trading post with 2 workers and then 6 workers for a dig, and they have exact amount of coins. They're just they
So
just
they're
miss 1
missing
worker.
to be able to get out another dwelling. Or maybe they just go another
Oh.
trading post for another temple for fire 3.
Yeah, there's some late cult
This-
plays
yeah.
to be done.
Yeah, I mean, a late fire 3 suddenly puts Giants in position of having 2 cults.
Yeah, and I think
Right.
if now it'll cause an interesting dilemma
If
for acolytes.
hold on, if
Maybe.
Giants get some leech, are they able to single dig? Right? 'Cause- or
That
double
saves
dig
them
if
3
they get-
workers.
Yeah, if they can use the double dig action right here.
Oh, they
that
can
saves them-
cult
they
step.
can get
They
get another
they can
trading
cult step
post
on
and dwelling.
fire. Yeah, they can cult step on fire
They finish at
and do that.
15 network because they need after
Wait.
that
Oh.
they'll need 8
Wait,
resources exactly.
that doesn't.
They have the exact
Yeah.
resources to be able to get out an extra dwelling.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that dwelling is a 5-point
That's
dwelling for
huge.
them. It's Earth 1, it's track, it's the pass tile. Well, it's not pass tile
And it's-
points,
and
but
it's
it's
the
network.
network win.
It's network.
Yeah, it's a network win as well, and they're still winning water
And
because I don't think the
Bizzle,
risk.
wait. Bizzle could have avoided building H2 and given him that leech. He could have built on I4, right? With his spade that we mentioned that it
he
doesn't
could build-
really
Yeah,
accomplish anything. So maybe that's a misplay from Bizzle.
I think
then.
so. I mean, yeah, there's a million places Bizzle could have built I4, I3, H3. Like, there's many hexes. Yeah, that's
Unless
odd.
Giants were always getting that free leech from some other player, but I don't really think so.
It's just
Yeah.
odd.
I could. Yeah.
Normally, why would you build next to someone and give them even a free power, right? It's a 1/6 of a resource point, and it might matter. Like, at the end, Like, I don't know, did Bizzle just forget he has the spade?
Maybe.
I think maybe he didn't realize he had enough to, because now he's building another temple.
Oh,
He's probably building a
did
temple
Barnwell miss
for
it?
it.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
Did
Or
he
did
had
he?
enough before? Yeah, he had eight
Yeah,
workers, right? So eight
Yeah,
workers
fair enough.
yeah, he had 8 workers.
is 8 resources. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was enough.
So that would have been 7 points to him, and who's in second place for who was
It would have
tying
been
it for
tied
network?
between. It was going to be tied with Yetis. It was going to be a three-way tie, right? With Swarmlings, Yetis, and Giants for network, because they were all at 14.
Oh, so it was 12
weren't they?
each. It was 12 points each, and so he would have gone
Yeah,
up 6 and down 3 to the other players each.
Yeah, that's huge.
So it would have been a
That's a
9
that's
point
a
delta between him and 2 players, plus 4 points for the extra dwelling. So it would have been a
dwelling.
13-point delta between him and
Yeah.
Yetis and him and Swarmlings.
Yep.
And it's a
Yeah,
4-way tie. Okay. Don't make me redo that math, Finesse. So it's a 4-way tie. Okay. Phew. I was impressed that I got through that, but okay. Oh,
Well done.
Barney boy,
Well done.
Barney boy.
You missed it. You missed it.
I would have missed it too if I was playing a 2-hour game, but these are the things that when you're just watching someone else's stuff, you recognize 6 of a coins that are lying around. And how to turn occult step. That would have been an OP water 2, man. Water 2 for the final power for a whatever we decided it
Yeah.
was, a
That
11-point
Yeah.
delta or
That would be-
something silly, 13. Yeah.
that was.
I think
Well,
I think Water 2 would have never yielded so much value as it would
No,
have
and
did
it's
if that happened.
5 points on water from 3 to 8 plus delta. Like that's an absurd water 2.
Yeah.
It would have probably that
that's the
one
best
favor
water 2
tile
ever.
would have probably earned more resource points than like half of these Earth ones.
Yep.
Anyhow, fun stuff.
But it didn't happen, unfortunately.
No,
Yeah.
we have the game we're given, so we'll cast that game, not the hypothetical other game.
We'll have a chat with Barnwell after.
Oh, I'm gonna have
Like,
to chat
not
with all
necessarily
these
on stream,
boys
but-
after this.
that was. But would that have been enough? Do you think that for him to get the win?
I mean, is this game not? Is this game more than 14-point spread? I don't know.
I think it might just. I think it might just have been.
Oh wait. Deep Finesse is reporting in live from the trenches that Yetis have enough to build the 15 structures. When did that happen? He says, I don't know.
How did Yetis get it?
I don't know. We left them for 5 minutes. We come back, and now you have resources for 15 structures. Who gave them power?
The Yetis? Or do they have like some special power somehow, or do they get power by like
Can we
using
not
digs or
count?
something? Like,
There's
we thought we counted right. but
There's
we-
three
we
math
didn't.
geeks on this call, and we can't count to 15 structures. It's shocking.
how,
Wizardry.
Good times.
I don't know.
they needed a 2-for-1, right? Was it when Chris built
I think-
H6? Did he give him the 2-for-1 then?
When Chris built H6. When did
he got
H6
the
come into
power?
play? That's a good point. Barnawal's last temple. Was it on C2? It was on C2.
Oh.
Barnawal gave him network and didn't give himself network. Oh my gosh. This game.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that
the
definitely
swings.
Water 2 was.
That was Water 2 for the win and the lose. Like, Water 2 gave him the network and it taketh away.
Was it the fire?
Yep. No, that was the Fire 3 one, I think.
Yeah, that was
wasn't
the
the Water
Fire
2
3.
one.
Oh, it would have been the
The
second
Water
temple.
2 one was on D. Yeah, the
Right,
Water 2 one
the
was
Water
on
2
D3,
one was on
I think.
D3, and that was totally fine. It was the second temple when he didn't see his own network win play. He then built a temple instead and gave power to someone else to take it. Math that out. That's insane. He took network from himself and then gave it to someone else.
Yeah. And so that's like a delta minus how many
Infinity.
points? Like
That
minus
temple is
14,
worth
minus
200 points
like
now.
minus 12 to Melisson. Like, oh, that's like minus 26 points.
Um,
uh,
we need to get Barnwell in for a post-game interview just to do math.
yeah.
Yeah, he's saying in chat that he missed it.
Oh, okay, so he
He
did
missed
see
the
it.
double league action.
All right.
Yeah. But then
But this a bit too late.
yeah, Melisson doesn't upgrade ship though. But it's still worth
I think
it.
that's worth it if he wins. Yeah, if he wins network and gets another 2 points on the track.
100%.
Yeah, it's 100% worth it.
Especially when there's network ties. I've lost track of this.
Yeah, so it's gonna like a 12-point swing on Chris and he's getting 6 points for closing over Chris.
Yeah.
He actually, I think, is he doing slightly worse? He has, how much does he have? He has 8 plus 6. He has 14 cult points, and then Chris has 14 as well.
So who's winning this?
I think Chris still is. I think.
Is he?
Does
I
he
guess he has cults-ish. He's 4 and 6 and 2 and 2. And he has a
Melisson
network
has
tie and he has a points lead.
12 plus 9. That's what I count he has over up on Chris. So
And Chris
21
still hasn't
points.
passed for 4 points.
Yeah. But Melisson is going to pass for 4 points as well.
Uh-huh. Well, Melisson will pass for 10. Because he has a pass tile. A real one. Not a fake air one. Pass tile.
Yeah, so I count he has still 6 points on the dwellings, 6 points on the pass tile, another 4 points for the air one, and 9 points on network, which gives him a total of, yeah.
So Giants are 130 before network.
Yeah, I think Swarmy's played a pretty good game. Taking Earth 1 was really definitely the good call here.
Yeah,
With the
Bizzle.
lack of points in the bonus tiles. And yet he's managing that connection at the end. Pretty decent as well. Pretty satisfying.
That was also clutch.
Wow.
This is like the most overbuilt town ever on the west for Yetis.
Yeah.
So much power there.
I think Melisson thought he was playing Landscape Swarmlings or something. I don't know. They got themselves mixed up. Yeah, that was good stuff.
That was a fun game. And now we'll see. We'll confirm our math suspicions.
Yeah. How much points does he need over Chris? 14?
I don't know. I'm all mathed out. I'm just allowing the ticker to play the tape.
Yeah, I think Chris has it.
Yeah, I think Chris has it, but
pretty sure. And then probably Barnawal second, Yetis third, and Acolytes fourth.
Yetis are going to beat Barnawal.
yeah, aren't they? But, well, Melisson has a bunch.
Or they're
No, he's
1
down
point
by a
behind.
point. Yeah, that's
He's down by a point.
okay.
Yeah.
So Barnawal wouldn't have beat Bizzle with, you know what I mean? Like if Barnawal didn't give Yetis that leech, Yetis are still third. They probably still beat Acolytes. And Giants still don't beat Swarmlings. Do you guys agree? So all that stuff that we were yelling about, the place order is the same. The margins are just...
Don't they?
I don't know.
No, because Barnawal...
wins
Oh,
network.
it's more
nine
than
more
6.
points.
Sorry, I was thinking it was 29.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was
gets-
16. Yeah, Barnawal through the game. All right. Yeah.
But then he loses points, like he doesn't get 8
On
points on fire.
fire.
So he gets
True,
6 less
true.
points.
He loses points on fire, so that's true. That's true. I think
it's
the
still
network
close.
is still a bit more points. Than what
Deep
he
in
did.
Us is saying fire was a big swing too. So yeah, it's losing 6 points on fire and 5 on water is 11 to yourself, giving the swing back only to swing network. Because the network swing against
it's a
Yetis.
2-point game.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not enough to win. Yeah. No, he doesn't get water cult or fire cult. Need finesse, yeah.
Giants still get
Bizzle
water
was just
cult
always winning.
if
Okay.
But don't forget his last. He loses points on the cult, but his last dwelling is still worth 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So he loses. I think he loses 8 points on the cult, but he ends up getting 4 points plus 9 points. So 13 minus 8 is about 5 points, minus the resource points. So 4 points. He's about like 2 points behind Chris.
I'm just inviting Bizzle for the losers interview.
All right.
I shouldn't trash talk the guy, you know? Founder of F2O. VC, my server.
No, you should. It's a mark of respect. You should trash talk him. It's he likes it.
Get in where? Where do you think?
My place.
My place, not yours. Yo, Bizzle.
What's going on, buddy?
Man, it's been a minute. How are you?
I'm on the top of the world right now, man.
Congratulations on showing all these
Hey,
fancy
fellow
Fire and
teammates.
Ice faction players up with some standard Swarmling spare. Good job, man.
Oh my
Congrats.
god. That was the most basic swarmlings I've done in a long time.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing that could have like really screwed your game is if acolytes take that B6 in the
Oh
first
yeah,
round.
that like
And I think
I saw that at the
once you
beginning. I was
got
like,
once you got that, yeah.
oh yeah, it was over.
But when
I
did
think-
you
I
take
think
once you
B6?
got-
Because you took Act
First
5
move.
first action. Oh, I see, but you were behind
Oh no,
Acolytes.
I used the shovel.
The
timer.
shovel. Okay. So you thought Acolytes might just take B6 first action and just wreck you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was sitting here tapping my leg, wondering what was going to happen. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, you should check out the VOD if you have any energy, because I trashed your game the whole time.
Love it.
Just to give you
Love-
just to give you some content. No. Well, a little bit. Well, one thing I was confused about was that I wanted to ask you about, because I'm expecting you were perhaps considering this as another option, is like there's sort of two lines we saw once you founded your towns. One was upgrading digging and scoring points off of that technology, tree, if you will, and then digging H8 to H9 for a second town versus utilizing your Earth 1, the ship VP possibilities, and the round 6 track to sort of like put your priests into shipping and spam dwellings. Were you sort of considering going the other route at any point and trying to go dig Advance's third town?
I don't think I did, and the reason I didn't was twofold. One, I figured that E6 was my only chance at connection.
Uh-huh.
And I had the double shovel available to me, and I had the single dig, so I could make the town either way, right? And secondly, I figured, honestly, I figured that E6 would kill Yeti's connection, and I didn't even consider that they would be able to get F9, or that they would get F9 G6 or G7 and then go down.
Right.
I think what he was talking about is once you had those two towns built,
Once I had those two towns.
we saw maybe a possible third town.
Yeah.
H8, I8, and H9.
And I7.
Oh,
And
yeah.
with I7.
So
Was that ever-
originally my plan, until I realized I didn't have the resources for it, was to build 2 trading posts. So that means I wouldn't have had the resources for upgrading digging. I thought about it, but I thought upgrading shipping was just a little bit juicier, and I thought I could contest connection.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, fair enough. I think the thing that signaled to us that you weren't, and I was complaining a little bit about on stream, but was when you upgraded your trading post on F7, as opposed to building a dwelling on H8 and then upgrading it there and like just keeping yourself flexible. But I guess that was your just way of signaling, I don't know, that you didn't care, that you were just...
Oh no, I just wasn't doing it.
You
Like
weren't
I just like
three-towning.
it. Yeah, no, I wasn't 3-towning, not at all. I mean, I looked at it and I said, okay, I7, am I really triple digging I7 for a town? I don't think I am.
Right, and that's why I thought like your only path to that
Yeah.
was not upgrading shipping with your priests, but using your priests instead for dig advances and going the classic like digging swarmlings to get I7.
Yeah.
But then I guess you don't get as many dwellings out. Probably, yeah, you don't.
Yeah, I don't think I get as many dwellings out, and I think that was the bigger thing. I managed to get really lucky with this setup, and I had an acolyte who just ended up fighting giants the entire time, and thus giants couldn't ever really contest E4, H4, H6, and then and
Right. Yeah.
they didn't even bother Yetis taking that southern area. So it just like Yetis got to take whatever they wanted to, and that worked out for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But yes, I
Acolytes
got
were
very,
kind of
very
the
lucky.
outskirts by how they placed. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
that B7
exactly.
initial sanctuary didn't really end up bothering anyone. It was a good call for acolytes to like the priest was good for them as well, like the priest to fire, but it must have been a tough decision, like choosing the priest or digging B6. I don't know if he thought about it long, Hubert Firex on the game. I think he just took the priest instantly, so maybe
Yeah.
he didn't really give it a second thought. But
Oh no,
maybe
he thought about
maybe
it for
as the
like
game progressed,
he thought about it for
he
about
thought
two
about it. Okay,
minutes.
I don't
He was
recall.
like, it was 2 minutes of me sitting
Okay,
here
I don't
saying,
recall
"Am I
that
dead?"
moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It does give him probably connection. He gets to 14 structures as well, and then he could bridge to get a third town there.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him connection
Or
and
just
it
like
gives him the
A8
town.
eventually. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I
what
think that's
really
worth.
killed him.
That's yeah.
Oh, I wasn't taking the priest either. Like
Yeah.
that's the problem is I wasn't taking the
I
priest.
think maybe giants, Yetis were maybe perhaps, but Yetis didn't get any leech and they took double dig, so I don't think they had enough power to take the priest and double dig. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Well, thank you, teammate. Thanks, teammate, for filling in. Good
Yeah.
performance all around.
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied.
Oh, I'm
Nice
glad.
job.
I'm glad you're satisfied with my first place performance.
I'm just
So-
I'm just busting your balls a little bit.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Will you change your mind and allow expansion factions in the upcoming F2O season on Lakes?
Not now, not ever.
Not ever.
Thank you.
Not ever. Wow.
Not
That's
ever is
bold
a strong
statement.
phrase.
That is a
Like,
strong phrase.
I don't think we're at a point where we can like we're at a point in the meta where they are interesting, they provide something interesting enough. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Mhm.
Like you had like Hubert, who's a very, very good player here, just kind of flounder around with acolytes, and Mellison just like, I mean, he did okay on Yetis, but he's just like, they're just so hard to play, and like he took how many actions? 50.
Let's see.
He took 20% more actions than the rest of us, and scored fine, but got third place.
Yeah.
Right, like. It's just one of those things where like and on top of that, right, the thing with like races like acolytes and dragon lords is they can kill a player on turn 1 when they don't really have, and it doesn't hurt them at all.
Yeah.
And God knows we've seen enough of that already in the Fire to Open. Like even without the expansion factions, we've seen some heavy like targeting of some players.
There'd be some salty
So-
stuff going
so
on, that's
I
for
think-
sure.
I think expansion factions to the mix might just enhance that
Right.
sort of behavior, so to speak.
Yeah, and on top of like enhancing that sort of behavior, it just doesn't hurt them either. Like there's
Yeah.
like him taking B6 first move, there was very little problem with it. Like there was very little sacrifice you had to make. So
The only thing he doesn't guarantee the priest for himself in round 1, but I mean that's
no.
it's not a small price to pay. But well, I mean it's a price to pay. It's not
it's a
it's not an insignificant price, but it's not like the end of the world as well.
And on top of that, and this is just to go on a small little rant here, like you had literally 2 players in this game who are top X in the world who are just like, Oh yeah, I forgot Yeti faction has 4 power big buildings.
Right.
Like little stuff like that. You're like, oh wait, my entire
Wait,
plan for this round is dead.
I was I was meaning to ask you. I mentioned that in the stream, but like when you took the coins in the town round, were you doing so because you thought you were safe of the two key town because you
Oh yeah,
didn't
I
think
was.
that Yetis had the town? Okay,
Yeah,
I was wondering that. Okay, yeah,
yeah. I
you
was like,
didn't
there goes
realize.
my game. I did like.
Yeah, you did.
Luckily, I recovered, but yeah, I thought I was
Mhm.
dead.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering if you took the coins because you knew for a fact that Yetis will beat you and you accept that fate and you still want the coins, or if you had known, would you not have taken the coins and rushed the town? That's what I was
Oh, that's a
wondering.
tough one, and I sat there for a while debating it. I think
Hmm.
in retrospect, I think it was a good choice to take the coins regardless,
Hmm.
but it was a tough. It would have been a tough. I think I would have made the wrong decision actually had I remembered that. Like
But
So
that's the
that works
problem.
out.
Yeah.
you, you do end the game with 4 extra coins, and the 2 key would have put you a bump more up on earth, water, and fire, and take maybe points away from your
Mm-hmm.
opponents.
Yeah, but I also lose 6 points, and I also like. I mean, they're like I needed those coins when I had them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Those coins would have been
Yeah.
workers. So,
Right.
and I took
It's
the
it's
coins
it's
last
it's a
round.
tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call to make for sure. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but it's interesting that if you had known about that dynamic, then maybe, as you said, maybe it would have led you to the wrong decision. I think that's an interesting thought.
Oh yeah, I legitimately do think it would have led me
Ig-
to
i-
the wrong choice.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes, right?
Ignorance
That's
is a
ignorance
little
is
bliss.
bliss.
So,
But yeah,
Bizzle, while we've got us, what can you tell us about the upcoming F2O season? When is registration opening? What's going on? What are the map settings?
oh yeah, I gotta tell people about that.
You got to tell
Registration's
people.
open.
Tell the thousands of
Registration's
viewers at home that you're talking to right now all
Right.
about F2O.
registration is actually just kind of like free flowing this year. Because Chris Bizzle thought he had an extra week than he did. So just kind of show up tomorrow and tell me hello, and I'll check it, and it'll be fine.
It's tomorrow. It's not next week.
Is
Hold on, I have to recheck the schedule here.
Yeah, I have to recheck.
I thought it was next week here. It's not.
Can
Hold on,
someone
I can't.
check on Discord and tell
It's
Chris?
December 1st. It is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Jeez. Okay,
Yeah,
I guess-
it's tomorrow.
I guess
So
we'll
get
do-
excited.
Ryan,
Cause
stop
we're
confusing
playing
everyone,
tomorrow.
Ryan. Jeez.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun time for everyone. Congrats. We're done with TMTL, but tomorrow is F2O.
The real
Yeah.
real tournament commences,
So
right?
yeah, I've got some things to like finish up on F2O, but overall it'll be another good season. It'll be another like top tier production that I do every time. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be a little bit of work. Having a full-time job is a little bit of a damper on that.
I bet.
Slightly, you know. Yeah. Come on.
So where should people show up to? I just posted a link to the F2O server in chat. People
to
should.
the F2O Discord.
So they should show up to the F2O Discord server.
Yeah, and then there will be a F2O qualifiers. If you are registered as a qualifier participant, then you will get a notification tomorrow. Hey, there's a qualification tomorrow, so be there.
Where do they register to become a F2O qualifier? Like, how do they do that?
For tomorrow, they probably won't because I may not have the form done.
Okay.
But okay, so here's the thing. Worst case scenario, you show up at the correct time. You show up 20 minutes ahead of time.
Well, what's the time? What's the time?
That is going to be at the time
7 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you.
7 p.m. Eastern.
So show up at 6:40.
And show up to a specific channel?
Yes. I will announce in that channel that you need to show up.
Okay.
And fill out the check-in form like you always do. There will be a check-in form. Fill that out. And it'll be great. As always, it will be fantastic.
I also wanted, before we close and before we forget, I just wanted to also say congratulations to Barnwell, who ended up winning the Division 1 I think, this season. and hopefully we'll be able to get to see him
That's it.
next
I think so.
season
He
in
does
the
take it
Premier
away.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
we'll get to be able to see him in the Premier League.
Oh, did I kingmaker him into that?
No, he was already in first place, and I think he had a good shot. He just needed like 1 point in order to.
Yeah.
Okay, he needed 1 point. I don't feel bad now.
Important question, Bizzle. Are 5-player games standard this year for F2O, or is there still like a special channel and form that you can fill out for 5-player complaints?
I guess I can reopen that.
Yeah, where's the 5-player complaint forms?
Well, I tend to have the channel not be open for. Oh no, it's open still. The channel is still open.
Okay.
So if you have a complaint about any 5-player games that you're going to play in the qualifiers, there is a special channel in the qualifiers group that you just fill it out, and then it will go right to me.
Chickens has a hot take that he wants 5-player games to be standard over 4-player games. Well, that's unpopular, Chickens.
That's certainly a thing.
That's certainly a thing.
Wait, did I beat Claybo?
Did you beat Claybo in?
What do you mean?
I beat Claybo. Yes.
What do you mean you beat Claybo? Like you finished with more points than him in the division? Nice.
Well, Danny did, but still.
You had a serious handicap, me. So that's a pretty incredible achievement.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Why does that make you so happy, Chris?
Because I came in and played half the games and still beat him.
Well.
Yep. That's a pretty. Well, you finished third in the third game technically.
Yeah.
Third and first. Yeah. So that's 7 points.
That's 7 points. It sounds like 0.4 then or 0.5 more than 6.5.
Yep.
Oh, congrats, Danny! You're not going down.
I don't think I'm signing up for next season, but
right.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sounds like a good time for everybody involved. All right. Anyways, but yeah, F2O. Yeah. If you want to play in the qualifiers tomorrow, show up at 6:45 Eastern time. Yes, 6:45 Eastern time. There will be announcements all over the place tomorrow. Like there will be. All right. You will know if you are in that Discord.
You will be spammed. That's what you're saying.
I mean, you won't be spammed.
There'll be a lot of here's going on, so just join the server.
There'll be one at general or at everyone, and there's gonna be one at qualifier participants, or there will be many at qualifier participants. So, anyways.
Gotcha.
I'll hold you to that. If there's one tiny more than what you've just said, I'm burning the place down.
All right, burn it down. Sounds good to me. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Yeah.
One thing I will say, I did ask Danny if I could start the winner interview in round 6. I still hold to that. I should have done that. It would have made for a lot faster of a winner's interview.
That we would have declared you the winner and brought you on the stream for the last round.
Yeah. He did ask me that.
I did call my shot.
I chose not to disclose it because I didn't want to tarnish the Danny Bizzle brand with this.
Oh dang it!
With this arrogance. With this arrogance, no, I chose not to, but it does make its way right now. So all things must be revealed, I guess. Some things cannot stay closeted, I guess.
No.
But
no, I figured that would make it on air. I didn't want to insult everyone in the channel, or in the game, but also I really wanted that to be on air. So you know what? It's on air now.
Yeah. I let you down, but I let you back up now. So okay. I guess we're fair. We're fair.
All right. Good game, guys.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Bizzle.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night, man.
All right.
You too.
See you.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for doing that, Danny.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for you for letting us borrow your commentary and your Twitch channel. We were kind of lost in the dirt, me and Ryan. We're like, how does Twitch work? How do you Twitch?
How do you Twitch?
How do you Twitch?
And thanks to Ryan for joining us for the last couple of hours here as well. He did have to take off. He just sent me a message on Discord and popped out just as we were finishing up with Bizzle. But it was a lot of fun to have Ryan on here as well. For sure.
Likewise.
Yeah, and if you guys are interested in doing this again, or other folks are interested in doing coverage and stuff, I'm more than happy to stream coverage and do voice chats and stuff like this. Danny, of course, hit me up anytime. I'm more than happy to do this with you on Tuesdays if I have the time. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. My pleasure. It was pretty good.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, we'll wrap things up
Here we
now here for now, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for this broadcast. I might be doing more of this again in the future, so stay tuned in the Discord for updates. And as always, stay tuned for updates on Open Table. There will be a game this weekend. It's looking like it's going to be Saturday, kind of early afternoon Eastern time. If you're not already in the Discord, there's a link at the bottom of the screen. Jump in there, and you'll get notifications on when I go live. So hope to see everyone on the next one. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a good night.